welcome to Vigilante-Verse. I'm Sonig.
I'm Chris.
And I'm Dan.
And we're very excited because this is episode 10.
Episode
I know.
10.
Dan
wow.
gave us a little radio voice there, too. I'm Dan.
I'm Dan.
Did you like that?
He's very
That was
excited.
good.
Yeah, no, this is like not our midway point, but it's a huge accomplishment
It's
to
just
have
at the
10
beginning.
episodes.
Just the beginning of the adventure.
And if you're wondering what we're doing differently, it's we're recording this in the dark.
Yes, we are
That's-
currently in
We
the dark room of the comic
studio
world.
can get a little warm, so we're trying
We're
a
trying
dark.
in the dark.
I know, and
approach.
I-
Well, it looks cool. I have like the lights from the board here lighting up too.
It's a cool ambiance.
That's
Yeah.
what it is.
I like it.
If you ever went to a nightclub and they were talking about comic books, this is exactly what it would
That's
look like.
what it'd be.
Without the loud noise and everything
Right.
else.
Right, everybody be quiet. We're trying to talk about Damien Dark.
Oh my god, too funny. But yeah, we have a lot to talk about.
We
Not
do.
all the shows are back yet, but
It was a busy week for the ones that actually were
Yeah.
back.
yeah.
Good episodes all around,
Um,
actually.
Yes.
Even Arrow,
Arrow was great.
thanks to Nissa.
I know, right? She did it. And
She kind of did it herself.
Yeah,
but,
and Speedy.
Yeah.
I liked how it was like all her, pretty much. But we'll get to
We
that.
gotta talk about Roy too.
Uh,
Something's weird with Roy. I didn't-
Oh.
He looks weird to me. I don't
Oh.
recognize the guy.
well, yeah, he gained weight.
He gained weight, but he looks like like in the middle of Friends, Chandler like gains like
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
like kind of like cocaine weight. I don't want to speak out of turn, but he looks a
No.
little odd to me.
Well, Matthew Perry actually did say that he forgets some of the scenes he recorded in like the
He was
first
an
few
addict.
seasons. Yeah, because
said
he was
forgets,
on
like,
drugs.
seasons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
We can talk about Friends. I mean,
Let's just talk about cocaine.
Speaking of
not.
cocaine, yeah.
Speaking
Talking about Green Line.
We're talking about
Yeah.
green. Oh my, yeah. The
Legends.
and Vertigo.
Legends first.
Yeah, that too.
Well, I just want to mention something before we actually start. I was digging through some stuff and I found not found, but I have a comic here that Chris has been talking about Dr. Fate from our podcast for a while now, because we're
He's the
hoping
best.
I
we're
have
hoping that
too.
we have
I like
there's like
Dr.
a
Fate.
show about Dr. Fate, but I have a comic here. It's the Fun Comics, and it's basically when it debuts Aquaman and Green Arrow in Dr. Fate. So I brought it in for Chris to
I enjoyed
check
it a
it
lot.
out.
It's got
It's
Dr.
pretty
Fate.
cool.
I like Dr. Fate too. Can I not like?
no.
But you haven't been
I
talking
showed
about
it to you.
like I've been
Well, when
talking
you
about
brought him
Dr.
up that
Fate.
time, I was like, yeah, we should definitely have a
Yeah,
Dr.
but
Fate show.
you came to the party late. I'm
I'm
the one
sorry,
that,
Dan. Are you feeling left out?
I am, because
You
I
got-
really
you got to
like
look
Dr.
at it.
Fate.
All
Yeah,
right,
no, I
look
know.
at it.
Hey, I let you look at it.
We got to take
Oh.
it out of the
Out
plastic.
of the plastic.
It's old school Dr. Fate too, with his old helmet and
It
everything.
is.
The
They-
amulet
they
thing,
improve
yeah.
it much better
Yeah.
in about 10 years
And thank
after
you
that one.
to
I
a
think.
certain someone. They know who they are.
Yes. yeah.
But no, I just it was fun to bring it in and see Chris's reaction, and Dan felt a little
Yeah,
out
I
of
guess.
it.
No, because
Dan
apparently
got-
it was all for Chris, but.
Well, no,
yeah.
because
Dan got to see my
Chris
reaction.
has been talking about it.
Yeah.
All right, next week I'll bring in something for you, Dan.
I
How's
really
that?
feel like we've said this before, but with Constantine joining the show on Legends
Yeah.
next year, Dr. Fate is going to show
Hey.
up.
Dr. Fate.
Well, now that
Perfect
I brought in the
opportunity.
comic, it's gonna happen.
Oh, it's so good. And if you ever watch Justice League Unlimited and all that, Oded Fair, we were just looking at some of the clips before.
Oh yes, Dan,
Does an
that's what we did
amazing
for
voice.
What happened?
you. We gave you suggestions on what to watch for the Justice League animated series.
Yeah, I've watched some of the Justice League animated series, and then I went on Netflix because I wanted to go back and watch it more,
Yeah.
but they
Yeah.
took it off Netflix.
That's a shame.
That is a shame, 'cause
Justice League Unlimited, that's about
Yeah.
as much fun, at least for me, as I
Yeah.
can have with the
Yeah.
DC characters.
Yeah,
It
'cause
might be.
I
I don't
remember
know.
watching.
It might be on somewhere. I don't know where they would
Online
post it, put it, or
somewhere.
yeah.
You just download the
Yeah,
stuff.
we
I
can,
download so much of the stuff. Yeah.
Shh, don't tell people that.
Well, you know.
No,
I
but-
go to Switzerland, download it, and I come back. And so
Awesome.
Yeah, that's
oh,
right.
So you
Yeah.
teleport there and you download it and you bring it back.
I got friends all
I
over
love
the
that.
place.
Real quickly, because
Yeah.
I've had this conversation before. Teleportation or super speed?
Oh, did we discuss this? Where
Not on here, no. We can discuss it now, though, because I love this conversation.
so one of my friends actually asked me, like, if you had any superpower, what would it be?
Oh, any. I was just talking about those two.
No, I
'cause
know,
they
but
bring
like
up
it
similar-
reminded me of
Oh, okay,
someone
yeah,
who
yeah.
asked me. But you're saying between super speed and teleportation?
It's
Yeah.
a ridiculous question. Super speed, of course.
Well, yeah, I mean that's awesome.
And some people
yeah.
say teleportation. I say super speed, too.
Think about it, though.
it's
This
pretty
would-
much the same thing.
Well, not really, because with
I-
super speed, then you can phase through things. You can also
Right.
Yeah.
maybe, I mean,
I
if we're
think-
getting into Speed Force and stuff.
Right.
But teleportation
yeah.
in real life, you have a chance of appearing in a wall or something. I think that's actually.
Well, yeah,
I think that's
because
really scary.
if you watch the show The Gifted, there's
Yeah.
this one of the characters in there. She can teleport,
Uh-huh.
but she has to physically see where she's going,
Oh,
or like
yes.
needs to know where she is
Yeah.
before she can teleport to that place. So that's the one like drawback of teleporting.
yeah,
That was
that's,
a,
I mean, I
that
think
was
it
a
would be
villain in
fun.
The Flash too. Remember, she had to see where she was going, and then she teleported.
well, that's the
there.
old
Yeah,
that's the old
the-
Nightcrawler thing too.
Right,
Like, he
right.
can be
Yeah.
dropped in the ocean, but he can only go as far as he can
Yeah.
see. Yeah.
I mean, I would love teleporting powers as well as fastest man alive kind of thing, but I don't know. It's
Speed
a
Force
hard
for
it's
me.
a hard choice because they're
It's the
both.
Speed Force.
They're both
To
what
me,
about you?
To me, I feel like with super speed, you get everything basically that you could do with teleportation and more.
Yeah.
True.
Because you could just
Yeah.
like if you say right now, I want to go to Burger King down the street.
I
Yeah,
was
you can
just
tell-
thinking that. Yeah.
Were you going to Burger
Oh,
King? You
Burger-
want to?
No, I was thinking.
Want
I was
some
thinking
fries
of.
with that?
I was thinking when the Flash came to Supergirl, and they're like, what's your power? And he's like, give me 1 second. He
Yeah,
goes to get
you
her
go
an
get
ice
ice
cream
cream,
and everything.
yeah.
But it's like that.
Yeah.
Sony could be like, hey, I want like a burger from Burger King. And before you even finish that sentence, I
Right.
could go
That's
steal the
true.
burger, come back, and it would be taken care of. As opposed
Yeah.
to teleporting and have to go. Okay, I'm here. I got to go pay for
Right.
it now. Like,
Right.
Well, he did
completely
that.
different.
Didn't he do that in Arrow when he went to go get sushi and then came back like 2 seconds later?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, they're two different things, so it's very hard to pick which one. I mean, obviously,
I'd pick super speed.
Super speed,
I'd
yeah.
pick super speed.
but no, it was funny that you said that because someone asked me like, oh, if you
Oh
had
yeah.
any superpower, like,
I did a
what would it
Twitter
be?
poll once, and I was like, which superpower is better? It was like strength,
Yeah.
teleportation, speed, and flying.
Yeah.
People always go for flying right away. You notice that?
Yeah,
would
they
be
do.
great to fly.
It would be awesome to fly, but it's not something I would use all the time.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Although I would telekinesis.
Yes, that's what I was
I
thinking
think-
too.
yeah, that's one of 'em.
Between the two, the kind of Wolverine healing factor would be really tempting because you could do anything.
Right.
But
I
don't
feel
know.
like I don't know if I'd like.
You'd
do
have
it
to have
be-
the metal bones to go with it and stuff because at some point somebody could just separate your body and
Yeah,
it's like you
that's
can't
true.
heal from that. I mean,
Right, right.
We could do a whole podcast on what the
Superpowers,
best
guys.
superpowers
I think a lot of
are.
people. I think a lot of
Think
fans of
about
comic
it.
books think about.
Yeah.
You have
Yeah.
like
Favorite one.
for our listeners, think about what superhero power you would want.
Yes.
Let us know.
And we'll probably do an episode on it. At
yeah,
some point,
that would. I think that would
honestly.
be cool.
Yeah.
Especially when when all the DC shows are done, we're gonna be talking about a bunch of stuff.
Oh yeah.
It's like a
Can't
little
wait.
plug for the summer there.
That's the
And-
nice
yeah.
thing about if you get green light on the streets, you never know what's gonna happen.
Green
when
light
you-
with Vertigo mixed in.
That's-
Can you
Oh my
imagine?
God!
You get-
Forget
Oh
about
my
it.
you're, gonna,
God.
you're gonna have to explain the Vertigo. I was starting to get a little confused about Vertigo, but we'll
That
get
was
to
a
that when it comes
throwback
to
to,
Arrow.
like,
That's
the
a throwback
first
to like
season.
season
Yeah.
I
one
know
and two.
it was ringing bells, but
Yeah.
really faint ones.
I love how
far
they
away.
did that.
Yeah.
But anyway, so
Yes,
if,
Legends,
If
let's
you
go.
well before that, but if you guys want to see the comic that I brought in for Chris and not
Oh, yeah.
Dan,
Yeah, apparently.
sorry, I'll be posting it on our Instagram later today. So definitely check that out if you're a huge Doctor Fate or if you're a comic book fan. So I'll post that later. But anyway,
I've been reading the New 52 Flash.
Oh, really?
Recently.
oh look
actually,
at
yeah.
you
How-
reading
do you like
those.
it?
It's pretty good.
I couldn't get into it.
It's just the first. I've like the first one, and then some of the second and third ones. It's
Mhm.
just right now. It's just basic stuff. But I already see the thing is I already look up descriptions and summaries of every like comic book thing. So
Oh, you
I
can't
already
do that.
you
That's
miss
a
it.
spoiler.
I already know like what's gonna happen with Reverse Flash and all
Uh-huh.
that. Yeah.
Well, next
But
time
yeah.
don't do that.
Yes, I won't. I won't when I
Go
go
into
back.
a comic not knowing exactly what's going to happen
I
because
should.
it's the best read ever when you don't know.
Yeah.
That's very true.
Yeah. But
Okay.
Anyway, so let's
Speaking of the best ever, Legends of
Oh,
Tomorrow.
Yay.
Legends.
what a weird episode, but it was awesome.
It was
Legends,
amazing.
like you said, Chris, Legends
It's
can
the
never
best.
disappoint.
It's the best. I mean, by the time I was actually thinking this is kind of an odd episode. I was having
Yeah.
a lot of fun, but then in the middle of it, you get Damien Dark with Nate, and I was like, all right,
Oh my God,
maybe
that-
one of my
That,
favorites.
was-
by far
that
was
was-
the funniest scene I've ever.
It was so
I've ever
funny
seen.
because Dark is like, he's like, I don't want to torture you, and like my daughter's doing this. I still want to burn the world down. I was like, what is happening?
Yeah.
And he had such a beautiful line too. He's like, I wanted to burn the world or remake the world in my image, not destroy it and lose the only person I was making it for.
Right,
because
right,
he loves his
right.
daughter, you
Yeah,
know.
but
And I
like-
always hoped Nora was gonna get some kind of redemption.
Oh,
I
you,
don't
dude!
think
After
so.
this,
That's done.
she's too
done.
far
she even
gone.
said like, I like my demons. I was
Yeah,
like, shit,
that's
Nora.
it.
And I think Damien
Yeah.
Dark is now realizing, and that's why I think
Yeah.
like that whole scene was just so funny because he's pretending to beat the shit out of Nate. Nate's like, oh, I can't
Oh,
act,
that
but
hurts
oh,
so
that
much.
Sells
hurt.
it
That
really
hurt.
well. Yeah, sells it really well.
Yeah.
but You
Any-
can't
as-
fool Mollus.
Anything with Damien Dark is just perfection. Besides, like, I didn't like him in Arrow, but that's besides
Yeah,
the point.
he was alright.
But
he was alright.
now
That was
that he's
more
in,
just once you go into Arrow,
Yeah.
all hope is lost. But
No.
once he was pulled out of
No.
Arrow, think about it. Think about Damien
No.
Dark in and outside of Arrow. Outside of Arrow, great
Well,
bad guy.
yeah, but-
Inside Arrow, just depressing,
yeah.
boring.
That's
what
true,
he's
but like
saying.
inside of Arrow is when you figure out who he is. And now that you know who he is, you know his characteristics. So you're like,
Yeah.
okay, he's, and plus he was brought back to life.
Exactly, yeah.
So
and
he's
now
a
we
totally
know.
different person.
Now we know there's Lazarus Pits. There's 3 of them, so the
Oh
my
there's
God,
chances
that's
of this
another
happening.
thing.
how
everywhere.
too.
exciting is that?
I think we have a
know.
lot to talk about with Arrow, but
I
we'll
know.
get
We
there.
do, but like, let's
There's
do
a
Legends.
real chance Eobard comes back now.
Oh no,
So we'll never
you're
know.
still hoping, Chris. I love
But,
that.
But
yes,
I love that.
they-
Legends of
Basically,
Tomorrow. We'll start
it-
with that.
But we
It
just have to
starts-
say, we just have to say that the whole robot theory that you and I were like, oh, Ava's definitely a robot because we were thinking of it.
I
in
was
Agents
trying
of
to
Shield.
be stupid funny.
No, I know.
I did not
I
mean
think
that
I
at all.
texted you saying like, oh, this is a robot episode.
It's weird because you do find out that Ava is a clone, not a robot, but
Right.
a programmed
Yeah.
clone. So she's an organically programmed
Yeah,
robot
they
type.
Right,
brought
right.
together like these really good genes and made like
the best
version
version of her.
of
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was really freaky, honestly, and because the whole basically they go to it's 2213 in Vancouver, which is where
2013.
That's an
they
amazing
film
memory.
most of the shows.
2113, yeah.
And it's basically just run by clones of Ava.
But there's like miscellaneous random humans. in
Yeah, and they're
there.
like, oh, and
Well, it's
Ava's
not
like,
run
not
by
all.
them, right? They're just the help.
Yeah, they're like the protector.
Yeah.
That's. I was
but
thinking
I'm
it was
pretty
very
su-
much like Asimov. 'Cause Asimov has a story. Was it the end of eternity? I think it's called, where like there's people can time travel, but there's certain years you can't go to because they're
Right.
kind of forbidden. And that's what I was thinking of because obviously
It's kinda
robots
similar.
and Asimov was very similar.
Yeah. I mean, it's
And also,
no, go ahead.
they just had on the advertisement for Ava, it said more human than human, and that's of course the
oh my god.
that's the motto from Blade Runner.
Right.
And a
from,
Rob Zombie song, but that's
It's funny. I went to go.
Rob Zombie. Wow,
went to go
didn't-
look it up.
I didn't picture you listening to Rob
more
Zombie.
human
actually.
than a human.
Yeah.
Come on.
I went to go look it up, thinking like just to be sure that that's from the Tyrell Corporation, and all I got was Rob Zombie, and
Yeah.
I was like, what the hell? How can Rob Zombie be more popular than Blade Runner? But I guess
Rob
in modern
Zombie,
days,
he's
yeah.
Well,
pretty
that's because
popular.
like Blade Runner is so old school.
Yeah.
Besides
I
the
mean,
remake.
In my
The remake.
opinion, Blade Runner should be the first search result, but it's not.
Yeah,
So
I agree with you.
But
yeah.
no, it's not just the help though. Like they're, you know, they're the cops, they're the government and everything. It's basically all like Ava, and they're like making sure the citizens do whatever they tell them and stuff. So
And
it's
they're
a
like
little,
super
like,
nice. They're like, have a great day
Yeah,
today.
it was a little
I'd be,
freaky
like,
for
freaked
me.
out,
Did
yeah.
you? Yeah, it's like kind of.
I
like
didn't
a,
get a very sinister thing from
I
it.
got a very freaky, like sinister, yeah, like Big Brother feel from it
I
because it's
honestly
just
didn't get that.
Ava's ruling.
I got more of a just they're kind of like the replacement for help. Like they're your nanny.
when
they're
they
your
were-
cook,
But
they're
it's,
your
I
whatever.
mean,
they
it's
were
creepy.
there-
You see like a million of Avas, and then all of
Yeah.
a sudden one comes up, and they're like, have a pleasant day.
Yeah,
I'd be like,
No,
okay.
You weren't freaked out the fact that they all like geared up and were ready to like terminate the Ava we know
I
and
just,
all them.
well, I just thought that they were the security force because why would you want to risk your life when you have these Avas? I could just do it for you. I was thinking a lot of Asimov type stuff, so it's kind of like the replacement
super,
robots
yeah,
that do
super
that kind of stuff.
futuristic.
But yeah, maybe it was sinister. I mean, they're certainly going to come back to it because they didn't for all the time we were there, they didn't really touch on why they were
yeah.
made, how they
Right.
come. I'm kind of under the impression that maybe this Ava isn't one of them. Maybe she's like the original
was
prototype.
I
thinking
don't- I was
that
thinking
too
that,
a little
yeah.
bit, actually.
Because she seems unique, and maybe
She does, but I don't know if like her memory was wiped from being a
Yeah,
clone because
yeah.
Rip was like, make sure pretty much
So,
no
yeah-
one finds out about this other planet
I
as
know.
well as.
I'm thinking it might be something where they modeled the whole cloning thing after her. Like,
That's what I was
like
thinking.
Jango Fett in the Star Wars movies.
Yeah.
But
Possibly.
Possibly.
and
Yeah.
they kind of modeled it after her, and like Rip probably thinks like, oh, she wouldn't have went along with it. That's why they were wiping the file just to get
Yeah.
rid of.
But then again, you don't have enough
I don't know.
backstory on her yet.
Yeah, it's a real
No.
shot.
To,
in the
like,
dark.
That's why.
piece it together.
That's why I'm very weary that she probably won't be around for next season because I feel
I
like
think
we
so. I
don't.
actually think
I
I
think
thought
she
that this
will.
gave me hope actually
Yeah,
because I
she
thought maybe
might.
she was an anachronism that would just puff out, but she seems to be kind of there to stay. And if she does disappear, then there's a few replacements waiting.
I mean, Constantine will replace her, and I'll be
Constantine
happy.
and
I hope,
Dr.
I hope
Fate's
we don't
coming
lose
in.
her.
I've
I've
she's-
actually really
yeah,
grown to
I
like
like her a
her.
lot.
A lot of the characters I didn't like in the original of Legends, I love now, especially Zari, who just did a complete 180 for me. I didn't like
she's
her
great.
much, and now she's a ton
Her
of
scenes with
fun.
Mick were great.
Yeah, so
It was
she's
very
she's
funny.
training Mick. Oh my god. That
First
was
of
so
all,
funny.
like the amount of crap that he eats. I know we've mentioned this before, like he's always eating.
Yes.
It's
But,
a
like,
little ridiculous.
It is, and it's like
Yeah.
now with like he's heating up the hot dog,
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
and poor
Heating
thing
up
is
the
like
hot
on a
dog.
cleanse.
Yeah,
Isn't
it's
Zari,
Ramadan.
No, it's
Ramadan.
Ramadan. Yeah.
Ramadan,
He's like,
yeah.
So
what are you,
she's
Jewish?
like, she's like, it's pork. Can't
Yeah.
have pork, and he's like, whatever.
Yeah.
Well,
And then the popcorn, and then oh my god, I was just like, this kid like eats so much food and doesn't gain 1 ounce.
And
Obviously, they're
That's
in
what's
space,
annoying
but it's
me.
like,
At some point, it's like he can't be eating all the time.
Right,
He's
right.
eating all the
and
time.
that's when Zari was like, "You said we would start training after your second lunch. This is your fourth lunch." And I was
Yeah.
like, "Jeez."
that reminds me. The two things remind me of that is one of Lord of the Rings when he's like, "This is second breakfast."
Yeah.
And then not to plug Supernatural, but like there's a character in Supernatural, Dean, who always constantly eats.
Yeah.
And it reminds me of Mick because they don't gain weight, and I'm just like, can I do that? And like
Yeah,
just stuff
seriously.
my
Isn't that
face and
nice?
not
Yeah.
gain anything.
It's like you ever see Defending Your Life with Albert Brooks? He
No, I
like
haven't
dies.
seen
You go to the afterlife, and one of the benefits is while you defend your life for like 7 days, you can eat whatever you want and not gain weight.
That's amazing. Like I would love that.
I don't know
great
how,
movie
I
if
don't
you've
know
never
what I
seen
would
it.
eat if someone told me you could eat anything and you wouldn't gain weight.
I'd eat
Like, what would
everything.
I
Oh,
know,
you
but
know what
like,
my thing
what
would
would
be?
your
Ice
go-to?
cream.
Ice cream.
Ice cream.
Oh yeah, I freaking love ice cream.
See, I feel like I'd go for like a triple cheeseburger, like 2 of them. I get 2 triple cheeseburgers.
Well, a lot of people have asked me like if you could pick one thing to eat, or like 2 things that you can't live without,
Right.
or like if it was the end of the world and you had to eat something. Mine would be
That's tough.
French fries and ice cream.
French fries and ice cream. That's
And then
an
I get the comment, "Oh, do you dip it in your Wendy's
Right, do
Frosty?"
you
And I was
do-
like, "No, I hate people who ask
People
that."
do that. Yeah, I
It's
don't
so
know.
stupid.
I've heard of it. I've never seen it.
Oh, I've seen it. Yeah,
I don't eat a lot of fast
my
food.
friends, they just put it in like shakes and stuff
Yeah,
too. And
yeah, but no, but like the amount of food that they consume on, like at least Mick consumes is like
Yeah.
I would just
And
love
beer
that.
and
No, it's a little
drinks.
ridiculous.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And so much beer, which is probably like filled with water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
we also know because Zari mentions that like Mick can do all these things with his fire totem. I guess he can fart fire as well. 'Cause
Yeah.
She kind of mentions that.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
pull my finger.
Yeah, he
Yeah, and I
figured
was
out how
like,
to
oh
fart
my, like-
fire there.
I actually would have. I wouldn't have mind seeing that.
That would have been pretty funny.
Yeah.
It would've
I mean, if
been.
we can
She's
spare
like,
the budget.
Don't
They
pull
were like,
the
they were
finger.
like, "Don't pull the finger. Don't do it."
She was playing Mortal Kombat too. I was surprised by that. I
Oh, she's a
recognized the,
gamer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's a gamer.
She goes,
No, Zari's all right.
Yeah.
she kind of reminds me of me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, kind of. Well, I used to be a gamer in high school. I like had PlayStation and stuff and played like Call of Duty. And,
Nice.
But
I mean,
this is
you-
like
you were-
back then. I mean, I still like dabble. Like I'm going to an arcade tonight because I'm
Yeah, yeah.
I'm a
Aw,
loser.
lucky.
I'm a lame loser. No, I love it.
No,
No,
that's, you're
arcades
going to a
are
fun
awesome.
arcade. I know.
Yeah.
I know
Yeah,
where you're
it's
going,
called
yeah.
a barcade because
Yeah.
you can drink and play
Love
video games.
barcades.
I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
okay,
Love
this
barcades.
is my section.
Yeah.
Those are popping up all over the country.
Are they
I've
really?
heard
No,
about them in
No,
many
they're
cities,
actually becoming more popular. When I was
Uh-huh.
in DC, I went to one. It was no, I was in Western Mass. I don't know how I got those
Yeah.
mixed
See,
up.
the geeks are ruling
And,
now.
oh,
This
yeah,
is
it's-
They're,
awesome.
they're really
I'm
fun,
so
and they
proud
have
of them.
like old retro games like Donkey Kong and stuff
Uh-huh.
like that. Street Fighter. It's
I used
Zelda.
to
really
love
fun.
the X-Men
Zelda.
arcade. I used to play that like all the time.
Yeah.
Can
X-Men
I
one?
just get some skee ball here?
Skee ball. Yeah.
Bring
Yeah.
it back to those days, like Dave and
Uh,
Buster's, which sucks, but
Yeah, Dave. I don't like that. But
You guys don't. I've been thinking about going. I still have not
nah,
gone to a Dave and Buster's.
It's the adult version, obviously, but at the same time, I'm like, give me a true video game,
Right. Right.
and I'll be cool.
Wow.
But yeah, so she is a gamer, which is
Yeah.
awesome. She always plays. I feel like in most episodes, she's always on a PlayStation kind
she
of
has
thing.
been. It's
Yeah.
not the first
Yeah,
time,
yeah.
but her job is basically to train Mick, who's not receptive to it, and really she just ends up putting him in a tornado by the end of the episode.
Oh man,
and
she like kicked the
torturing him.
shit out of him.
Which was great. They do that. That effect is really good.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
probably on something just spinning because you don't see his feet.
Right,
But that looked
right.
really, really
Yeah.
sharp.
yeah,
when
it was
I
pretty
saw that.
cool.
Yeah.
But I think that needed to happen to like get Mick back
Yeah,
into like
I-
shape.
I like that Mick is kind of has this underneath everything. He's like a decent guy, but they don't. They kind of make him into a joke a lot of the time. I wish they didn't do it as
I
much. You're saying
know.
like he's always eating, he's always drinking, he's always flipping about somebody else. It's just like he
Yeah.
could be a little
Well,
bit
he-
more real.
He
you know?
hasn't like
Yeah.
really been fighting that much.
No, but I think
recently.
he will now that he has the totem.
Well, that's what I
So-
thought this episode too. But then he was just
Well,
kind of
he's
farting.
quote unquote
and
training.
training.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it this episode because there's something else going on. He's got to be on the sidelines, but
Yeah. There's a lot
It's
of things
still-
going on in this episode. I think there was
Yeah.
like 2 or 3 different.
Well,
was 3 different stories going on.
Right. While the
Yeah.
training's going on, Sarah wants to leave. Remember that after the whole Ava thing?
If she
She's like,
wants
"Oh, I
a
wanna
personal
leave."
day,
Yeah.
which is very understandable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
poor
Wha-
thing never gets a day off if you think about
I
it.
know.
And then, so she leaves though, but then she puts Amaya in charge. So that's where the third story comes
And the
in.
look on Ray's face, he was just like, "Oh, I'm not Captain."
Oh yeah,
Got
Ray,
it.
Ray was like, "Oh,
I felt bad for you.
I
He gets
kinda
the
thought
shit end
this-
of the
I
stick.
know.
I felt bad for Ray there. I would.
Maya was a good
By the
choice,
way,
actually.
Yeah, she's.
I
she's
did
a good
notice
song.
the gray in
See?
Ray's hair.
You're gonna
Oh, you did?
notice it.
I did
you
notice
noticed the
it.
gray hair,
Oh,
I
God.
didn't
Poor
notice
Ray.
the pepper look.
The
salt and pepper look.
It's like little random gray hairs. It's just
That's just me though. I just overanalyze everything.
you're gonna see it.
I don't. Yeah.
You're gonna
I-
see it
I didn't
now.
look. Yeah.
Dance
It's like
on it.
it's like the stars at Star Labs. You'll see this.
Yeah, you'll notice it
those are
once you pay
terrible.
attention.
Those are terrible. I'm surprised Felicity hasn't installed some like little aesthetic star on her lab.
The arrow, like a huge arrow
With
in
a
the
star
kid.
coming through
She
it,
would,
cutting
yeah,
across. Yeah.
Like when they start Arrow, they have all the symbols and everything, just like have those plastered around
Yeah.
there. They added like a leather couch in the place too. The whole
Yeah, there's like a
layers.
living room in the Arrow Cave now. It's
Oh, it's like when Curtis, like we go back to Curtis's lair and everything. There's 4 gigantic HD TVs behind him with just little things going up and down,
It's so
monitoring
weird. It's so weird.
the
I
air
just
pressure
don't-
of the room. I have no idea what they're doing. But we're still talking about Legends, which is
Yes.
basically this whole episode is basically about really the heart of what's going on with Mollus.
Yep.
And
Mollus and Ava. pretty
yeah,
much.
and with
Yeah.
a little bit of Kawasa thrown in. Kawasa is the
Oh,
double,
I
triple,
know.
quadruple agent. And
Do you think
this
she's
one,
really dead?
I think so because
kind of do.
they mentioned a few episodes ago that Kawasa had died, but the only reason she was resurrected is because of that totem, and that thing was
And
like
now
the
that
only
it's-
thing
yeah.
keeping her alive.
Yeah,
and
it's
it
a
kind of made
shame.
sense because
It was in her heart.
Mollus,
Yeah, it was like her-
took it out of her. Yeah.
Which is so creepy.
I know. I was surprised when I mean,
Yeah, she transformed Kawasa into water and was like, I was like, oh my god.
I know, ripped it right out of her.
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. But when Nora really goes to fight, Wally, Kawasa, and everybody,
Yeah.
she ends up zapping Wally's Speed Force and like all this
Yeah.
stuff.
I
I was like,
know.
I've
There
never
you go.
seen anything
It's,
like that.
it's scary though if you think about it because now you know that Mollus is like really.
Right. I actually,
forming.
that's a good point because I
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
watching it like, whoa, that's kind of beyond what I've seen any of these other
It's
characters.
kind
do.
of not good, obviously, because Mollus is bad, but it's good in the fact that we had Wally, who basically the last few episodes was able to just do whatever.
Yeah.
But now you see Mollus can actually,
Harness.
harness the whole,
Yeah.
It's the Speed
the
Force.
Speed Force.
I do love how they use Wally. Like even when he goes to fight Kawasa in the hospital and everything, that fight's over in 2 seconds
Right,
because Wally's
right.
a speedster. Kawasa can turn it in the water.
Yeah.
You can
Yeah.
go
And
go in the
yeah.
floor, but he's just gonna find
And
you.
she was.
Yeah.
I think there was one point where she was like, "What are you?"
Right, and I love that because if
Yeah.
you're really going up against a speedster, it's like, how do you beat this guy? Like,
You
it's
like how
impossible.
he, you like how
I
he
was gonna-
said,
yeah. Go ahead.
I'm the fastest man alive, and, and
Second
Nate was like
fastest.
second fastest. Yeah, she didn't need
know
to know that.
When he said it, immediately when he said that, I was like, wait a minute.
I
what
said that
about- what
like
about-
in my head. I was like yelling
I
at my,
know,
not
then you
yelling
got-
at my TV,
and
but
then
I was
Chris
like, no.
Chris was like, well, Barry's like the 6th fastest man
Right,
alive.
we all love Barry, but he's only fast occasionally. Yeah, and
When
now,
the
now we
villain-
gotta contend with
when the villain isn't fast, that's when he's fast.
Right, even Iris is jumping around at this point. So, and
So-
but in getting with Ava, we basically learned that her whole backstory is really fake, and she doesn't even really realize it. She avoids her parents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
Um,
are
are actors. So
My
weird.
God.
Which was so funny to hear
I'm actually-
somebody
yeah.
say like this. You know how hard it is to get an acting job in
Oh
Fresno.
my god! When
It's
I was
so
like,
true.
Oh my God.
There's a lot of people that groan support with that.
Oh,
that line.
absolutely.
I think a
That's
lot of people
anyone
know
who
that.
wants to be an actor in LA. They're like, yeah, well, good luck.
If you're doing dinner theater in Fresno, I think you
Dinner?
sympathize. Yeah.
Sarah caught on to the acting job real
Oh,
quick.
like,
though.
right
Did you see
away.
that?
She
That was
knew.
really funny. She's
She
like,
knew.
"Oh, where was this one taken? Oh,
Yeah.
that's funny." Yeah, she's just ready to beat some ass before
Yeah.
the
Oh,
parents.
She
can
almost
say
did.
anything.
She like took out her knife and everything.
I know
I was
that
like,
was
you
funny.
go, girl.
Kind of reminded me of the not Brainiac, with the Thinker on the Flash. Like you go to his house, everything's like hunky dory.
Oh, right,
like,
right,
What's
Right,
going on
and he
here?
goes, yeah.
But he has a pocket dimension.
Pocket.
Yeah.
Pocket
That's my
dimension.
Dr. Fate.
Nice.
But yeah, that basically leads to a lot of the confrontation because they're going to go to this forbidden year to figure out like why can't we go there. And Gary
Yeah.
gets a little bit.
Oh,
He
I
gets
love
a little
Gary.
bit more every episode.
Well-
I feel like by the end he's going to be like a part of the team.
Gary.
I love Gary.
Gary's
Just, like,
good.
Gary's more likable now. I
Yes.
did like how they kind of just made fun of him the whole time, but now he's actually a
But
pretty
he
good
was
character.
a minimal character, and now he's
Yeah.
like actually in episodes, and I'm like, yeah, Gary,
Yeah.
you got this.
Well,
I
the
know.
reason they're going to that year, though, to little backstory is Ava was missing, and then Sarah was like, "Oh, I can't take a day off now," and that's when they go
Right.
to the parents, and then they couldn't find anything, so they went to the Time Bureau.
What was she gone for like 3 days?
Yeah, they went to the Time Bureau, and then
Ever
she's
since
there.
the bad breakup.
Yeah, she was there.
Which wasn't even that bad. But then again, what
I
do
mean,
know?
she's sensitive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then they find Ava at the Time Bureau. Remember when they go
yeah,
back
she like
looking
walks
for her?
in.
They never say what she was doing the past 3 days, though.
She said she went home. Doesn't she correct
She
herself
lied-
later?
she lied
She
and
lied
said
and said she was with her parents.
Fresno, yeah.
Yeah,
With her parents.
she was
So I
actually
don't
in
know.
Vegas to see some old friend or something. I think she's talked about that at the end.
And she
Oh,
used up
yeah.
swipes. Did you see that?
Yes.
She used
That's
up
she
swipes.
swipes.
That's what it was. I
She
know.
used
Oh, I
up
feel
swipes.
so bad for that programmer. That
I
made
I
up
know,
swipes.
the developer. He made this app that everyone loves.
And it's so much more intuitive to go
It's-
up and down. Like, we all know that, but this
Guys,
poor guy.
it's up swipes. It's now no longer Tinder.
no longer.
Yeah,
Imagine
that's-
if someone made an upside. They'd probably get copyrighted, but still, that'd be
probably something
hilarious.
Yeah,
similar to
that
it,
would be
yeah.
funny.
So then they go into the computer, find out, access denied to Vancouver 2213.
Which, by the way, have you either of you been to Vancouver?
I have not. No.
Once.
It's
but
like it's on my bucket list, but
Yeah.
I'm very curious to see if that is what Vancouver actually looks like downtown when they did
I
the
think
whole
so.
future. I have no idea because I've never been,
Yeah.
and I want to go so badly, but
I mean, you really only see a street corner.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just
yeah,
outside.
but like you know
with
how
people pushing.
sometimes like they reference like a bunch of shows are filmed in Vancouver because
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
taxes or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot cheaper, but like places like I think there's one place in Toronto where they film, but they use the backdrop of another city.
Uh huh.
So
You see it all
I
the
was just
time.
always
Yeah.
curious, like,
Yeah.
oh, is this what really Vancouver
If you're looking for
looks like
Canada, I've heard
downtown?
Montreal is really nice.
Canada's
To like
aw-
visit
Canada's
some place
awesome,
in
but
Canada.
like
yeah.
I'm a
I've
huge. I
always-
want to British Columbia, like for sure.
I love
Whistler,
Canada.
Vancouver, yeah. But anyway, was just me being curious to see if
Yeah, no,
if it was
totally.
actually
Well, when they actually get there to the square you're talking about, what does Sarah say? It's hell to her
Because
she's
it's
surrounded by her
all-
exes
yeah.
and it's heaven.
Oh, yeah, that was- that was funny.
paradise.
Gary,
to
I didn't know Gary had like a crush on
Oh,
Ava. I
he's
thought
a
it was
little
like a.
hornball.
Are you
Oh
kidding
Oh my
me?
god.
Gary is like obsessed with it.
I didn't know
I
that was
know.
a thing until this one. Honestly, I thought he was just like always scared of her and stuff, but apparently he's like
No,
in love
Gary-
with her.
No,
and
Gary's in
He's
love.
got it. He's got it
She's like,
big time.
no, that's what it is. They go there, and then Gary's like, "What is this? Is this paradise?" Because there's
Yeah,
a
and
bunch
Sarah's
of
like, no,
Avas
this
everywhere.
is hell.
Oh
This
my
is
god.
No, but I like when the real Ava comes in and I think she like pushes Gary
Shocked.
off and she's like, get off of me, Gary.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
Gary's like, oh, you're the real one. Got it. It's just funny.
So, but when they get there, they realize that Ava is like this corporation, and it's like this clone corporation
Yeah, Ava
called
Corp.
Ava. Yeah.
Ava
Pretty
Corp.
fortunate
So
they came
weird.
in. They came in right across the street from Ava Corp.
Did you like that?
Anywhere in the world, they happen
know,
to come in
right?
right across the street. But yeah, and I just said I couldn't quite figure out if it was robotics. I think it was just genetically programmed
Yeah.
people, clones that somehow lost their personal will. But that leads to this whole mystery now, like who is Ava?
Who is Ava?
I'm still wondering who she is.
Yeah, we still
Yeah.
really don't. I mean,
They
they,
didn't-
go
they didn't
in.
answer that.
They go in. I mean, Ray finds this whole. It's that lab with all the clones, and then I don't know how they just got into there. By the way, but anyway.
Yeah.
They just walk in.
Exactly.
And
They do it all the
So,
time.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's no security,
and
please.
and then Ray, accidentally activates one of the clones and wakes her up and is like, "Oh, who are you guys?"
Ray
and all
is
that.
such a dumbass. Sometimes. Like,
Sometimes
he did that, and I was like, oh.
He's more like book smart than he is.
Yeah. I mean, I love
socially.
Ray.
Oh yeah, Ray's awesome.
I love Ray.
Yeah.
We love
I feel bad
Ray.
that his wife in real life looks like she's going to be done by the end of the season because I was really hoping that Nora would turn around. I actually
I don't know.
really
Well,
I
enjoy
mean, you
Nora.
never know.
I think
don't know. It's
she's
tough.
beyond at this point. She already
Yeah,
said she's
but-
like, I love my demons. It's like, oh,
She
there she
does,
goes.
yeah.
Like,
That's like her. Yeah, like her actual self is like.
I feel
yeah,
bad
fine
for the
with it.
actress. She's always a guest star in like
Is
so
she?
many shows.
she's good.
She's
I mean,
great.
I'd be happy
I mean,
to
if
have
you
her around.
watched True Blood, she was in that
Yeah,
for
I
like a
don't-
brief. But anyway, like
Yeah.
I would feel bad if she gets knocked off of this season.
I thought it was interesting too that she doesn't need the the totem anymore. She's just like, oh yeah, you can.
Well,
water.
no, because it's Mollus basically inside
I know
her,
that's kind
so
of impressive. I
it's-
thought she had to be channeled.
I
or
know,
he had
it's
to be
creepy.
channeled somehow, but
Yeah.
that just means
she's
he's
just
taking more control.
full evil. That's why I think she's done. I think she's gonna
Yeah.
be completely taken
Yeah.
over, and Damien. This is my prediction. Damien's gonna have to kill his own daughter or something. and
Ooh.
Probably.
Jeez.
Stick her in the Lazarus Pit.
It could happen. Every time I think it's gonna happen on Legends, the opposite happens.
Yeah.
So who knows?
Oh,
Well-
no. I mean, your prediction for robotics.
That was.
Was
Yeah, but
kind
that was me being stupid.
No,
I
I
was-
know, but hey, maybe you should be more stupid.
I was
Yeah.
thinking of
Yeah,
I can definitely
Chris.
be stupid. I was thinking honestly. I said it before. I was thinking of Agents of Shield. It just happened to remind me
I
of
know,
Ava.
I know,
It's not
which-
Ava. It's Eva. Whatever they call her.
Yeah, something like that. But close enough
That's the only thing I was thinking of, and it
and
was
she
ended up being
becomes
close.
super evil
Yeah.
in Agents
That,
of S.H.I.E.L.D.,
that's
so
actually my favorite storyline from Agents of Shield.
Yeah.
That whole ended last season, but
besides this season, 'cause it's great.
yeah.
Dan,
yeah.
are we losing you because you don't watch
Don't
Agents
worry
of
about
S.H.I.E.L.D.?
Legends.
No,
Or
it's
don't
fine.
worry about Agents of
Did
Shield.
you guys
yeah.
know Agents of Shield is actually on the bubble to be renewed?
I
or
would
not?
be very surprised if it gets renewed.
I kind of
Really?
hope it does.
They're ending it. I heard they're ending the season as if it's
Yeah.
the series finale.
Oh, no.
Well, no. Well,
It
there's
could
a
happen.
little hope. I guess. Well, the creators, the writers, and stuff, they said just in case they do decide to cancel it, they wrote it as if it could end this season. That's what I
Yeah.
heard.
Yeah.
So it could get.
I mean,
canceled.
they did the main character, obviously.
Yeah.
If you guys
Eh,
watch
we
it.
should
but-
be careful not to spoil too
No,
much.
I won't.
Yeah.
But I really hope they get renewed because I do like this. I do like the show.
I could afford to kill off a few characters on Agents of Shield, but that's something completely different.
Yeah.
Right.
But back to Legends.
So while they're at AvaCorp and stuff, we mentioned Wally, Nate, Kawasa, they meet up, and Nate kind of tries to make a deal that, like, hey, we'll get Amaya's totem back, and then what was it that we'll give you? I forget now. No, Kawasa gets the totem for Amaya back,
yeah.
and then
To restore the timeline,
yeah,
kind of.
But then I think the deal is like they get Nate or something like that.
I don't know.
I
She
thought I wrote
she
it
also
somewhere.
injects him with something so he doesn't steal up.
Don't turn into steel. We don't have that kind of
Oh,
money
yeah,
right
that's
now.
right.
Which ends up happening anyway. I was about to make fun of it, and then he turned into steel later,
Yes.
and I was like,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
all right.
you did.
They duped me.
But I
They
just I
rope-a-dope.
feel so bad for Nate because he gets literally the shit end of the stick on every episode.
Yeah, and I think his little love affair
Oh, it's
is
over.
doomed.
I
Which,
think
it's
it
over.
should be. I mean,
Which is-
honestly,
I
it should
kept saying
be.
that. I mean, like, this whole thing is that it's affecting time, and she's not. If she stays with him, it's
Yeah.
gonna affect time.
And I
like-
think since Kawasu is dead now, I think it like registered in her head. She's
Yeah.
like,
Right.
Okay.
By the end of
Right.
the episode,
Yeah.
she's basically saying it's done.
She's like,
Right.
peace out. But that whole conversation with the phone when she calls him and over the comms,
uh-huh.
and she was like, I love you. And he's like, yep, you too.
she's like, me too. Yeah,
Because he couldn't
Yeah.
say anything, but I was
Yeah.
like, oh, okay.
that's right. Because Kawasa was right there, and
Right,
Kawasa
right.
does not agree with that whole
No, of
relationship
course.
too.
Which she
Which
shouldn't.
makes sense
It
because
makes sense,
yeah. So they get the totem, Amaya's totem back from Dark, because remember Nate's there with Kawasa and the Darks, and Nora's like, "Oh, we trust Kawasa, don't worry." And then Kawasa takes it, and then
But not.
but yeah, and then they're like, "Okay, well, Dark, you can have your way, do whatever with Nate or whatever." And
Do your worst.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's so basically that's what when Nora like threw Damien across the room. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah, after they
goodness.
caught him
yeah.
faking torture.
Faking.
Yeah,
noises,
that was crazy.
No, Nora's pretty
She's-
large and in charge at this
Yeah.
point.
She's scary.
Yeah.
Very scary. I don't know what's happening, but I mean, take over. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I was surprised at how powerful she's become that quickly and not needing the totem. It all kind of caught me off guard because I thought she was just going to be one of many that when they come together,
Right.
like Captain America becomes some kind of thing. But
Yep,
really, or
nope.
Captain America, Captain Planet. But yeah, she's just her. That's why I think she's really screwed. I mean,
Yeah, because
Yeah,
I think
for
the
sure.
whole Mollus is just inside her whole
Yeah.
mind now, and,
And
that's it.
it's bad for me to say this, but I kind of want him to be a physical form now because I think you were saying that. What's the actor's name
Oh,
again?
John Noble.
John
who I
Noble.
John
love.
Noble.
You guys know what the name of the next episode is?
Yeah, did you see
No,
that?
I didn't see it.
I thought, I
I thought it was a glitch or something.
I did too, but it's the actual name is
The-
guest starring John Noble. And
That's
I was
the
like,
name
"Here
of the
we go,
episode.
baby."
Oh, I would
Oh.
be so stoked.
Oh,
I
he's
found that
gotta
so
show up.
weird that
Wait,
that was
so-
the title of the the
So
episode.
wait, so
guest starring
maybe
John Noble.
maybe Mollus will actually come out in this episode and
If
be
he
a
does-
physical form.
I hope they don't even try to put makeup on him. I hope he just comes out and he's like, I just chose an awesome form, like the actor John Noble, and that's who I'm gonna be, or something.
He's
So-
creepy in general,
Oh, I
like
love
normally,
John
but I
Noble.
love
The guy
him. Oh yeah,
the guy is wonderful.
he's awesome.
What's
Beautiful
weird
man.
about that though is because I saw a guest starring John Noble, but then like the trailer it's a Grodd episode.
Yes.
I-
Well,
I didn't see
it's
the
like,
trailer, but yeah,
Yeah, you never see trailers.
I never
after.
see it.
It's a Grodd
it's a
episode.
Grodd
That's why I
episode,
was like a
so-
little weird.
Well,
I
they're
don't know.
they're throwing you off. Grodd's expensive. They're not going to do all that. I mean, you'll see Grodd for a little bit, but then
Oh,
he'll
Grodd's
go in
like
his cave or
beating the
whatever.
shit out of this dude in the trailer.
Yeah, it's supposed to be Obama, I think.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I think Obama.
Oh, I did read that description. It's like a
Yeah.
young Obama. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe have like a mental fight or something.
Yeah, I don't. That's why I was confused on why it was guest starring John Noble, but I mean maybe
Yeah.
it's.
I don't know. I didn't
later
even
in the
think
episode,
about the
I don't know.
title. I usually
God,
just like
I-
see the preview like really
Yeah.
quickly and then
Walter Bishop on Legends of Tomorrow.
Yes, please.
I have a couple friends I try to get to watch the show. It's difficult because you have to know
What, for
what's
Fringe?
going on. Oh no, Fringe is easy.
Oh, yeah.
With Legends, you have to kind of know what's going on
With
in Arrow
and
and know what's
Flash,
going on in
yeah.
Flash.
That's the thing.
It's
like
really hard.
It's very hard. So a lot of my friends are like, "Oh, well, I just watch Arrow." I'm like, "Yeah, but there's so many things that you'll miss if you don't watch the other shows,"
God,
which is
You
so
need
true.
to watch Flash.
If you were
Yeah.
watching only Arrow, like that's depressing.
Well,
You're
my-
missing everything.
Yeah.
No, I don't mean it in like. I mean it. There's so much going
No,
on
I
in the other
know,
shows.
I
that
know.
Honestly,
Yeah. But like, if it's something you have to start, like if you've already started Arrow, you have to watch Flash, then you have to watch Legends, and because
Yeah.
like everyone from Arrow pretty much goes into Legends.
and you could just watch the first couple seasons of. I mean, the first 2 seasons of Arrow were good. I mean, it was
Yeah.
a really fun
Yeah.
show for a
Yeah,
long
yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the first 3
yeah.
are the best. Yeah,
I didn't like season 3, but that's
Yeah.
just me.
I'm kind of. I started to go down when Slade
I know.
disappeared, but
Slade, that's right.
But
basically what we get Wally. I got a couple lines written down just because they really caught my eye. Like, get your hands off that hard body. That's Wally's line.
That
when he
was.
comes in
I
to
was like,
rescue.
what did you
I mean,
just
he's like,
say?
I didn't mean it that way.
Yeah, because it was on.
I was just
Nate, and-
surprised. It's an interesting. I was trying to think of what he meant to say, and I couldn't think of anything.
I don't. I think he just said it, and he was like, "Yeah, that sounded
I think he meant to say
Bad.
like, don't touch steel.
right." Because
That
he's
way.
steel.
Don't
right.
touch steel became.
I mean,
get
that
your
was
hands
almost-
off
Because
that hard
that's
Yeah.
body.
when Nate turned steel, right?
Right,
And that's
yeah.
when he was
Yeah.
like, don't touch that hard body.
That was. I mean, that was almost a
Still, I
black.
mean, Nate's very fit.
that was
you know.
almost a Black Lightning, like, oh, so when you take a shower moment, that was
Oh,
like
yeah.
one of those for me.
It
I was
wasn't
like,
as
that was a
bad.
little weird.
It wasn't
No,
as
no,
bad.
yeah.
No, but it was like trying to do a funny joke in there. And
That
he's like,
was
oh,
funny, I
wait.
mean-
What was your other one?
No, that was really it. That's the one that
Oh,
really
okay.
stuck out. I mean, what's her name? Ava says something like, "I'm a future clone" thing. I thought that was kind of funny, but also I thought it was kind of sad. I think her story's kind of sad. I think she is gonna make it, but
Yeah.
Legends is really unpredictable, and it's the
It
first
really
time I was
is.
like, "Oh no, she might be in real trouble here." Like, I
I
don't know
don't
if she's
know.
gonna
I'm
make
actually
it.
very curious with Rip and like how he knows all this stuff about. I
Yeah.
mean, he used to be.
Well, he's the one who set the year. He
Right,
made it
right, right.
Yeah,
verboten for them to go
access
to.
but that's why
denied,
I'm
yeah.
curious to see like what's his story.
Yeah.
I mean, they should bring him back. Not fully.
I know. I do wish he was
but-
around
He's-
more.
He's
Yeah.
gonna. Well, I don't know if he'll be a main regular though. That's the thing. He'll probably be on for like a little bit.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But yeah. I don't know.
I miss Rip. I feel like the first season was all about Rip and
Yeah.
a little bit too much. And once you got rid of, you kind of trimmed the fat with Hawkgirl and stuff. Like,
Right,
but now that everything
right,
else
right.
is good,
Yeah.
he would fit in really well. But
Yeah.
I mean, I
It's
like
Sarah's
I
ship.
like him as an actor because I watch Doctor Who and he's in that. So.
Yes.
yeah,
The
I
girl-
actually did you like the line Ray said where he's like, "This is the second worst Attack of the Clones I've seen."
Oh yeah.
Of course, I love that.
You
hit
would've loved
home
that.
right
I
there.
loved that.
Possibly.
Are you a Star Wars fan, Dan?
I dabble, you know.
Yeah.
That
Watched
was
everyone like
completely
70
sarcasm
times.
right
No,
there.
I know. I know.
Have you watched the prequels like 20 times, like trying to convince yourself
That they're not
decent,
You're gonna
yeah.
hate me, but I haven't seen the last 2.
The new ones?
Yeah.
That's fine. You've seen the originals, right?
Oh, of course.
That's fine. I hate the people.
first 3. The other ones also.
Right, the original. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you're fine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's fine.
But no, everyone's like, oh, did you see what? I don't even know what they're called.
Force Awakens
Force
and Last
Awakens and
Jedi.
Last
is
yeah,
the two new ones.
I honestly, I'm like, meh.
Do you watch those, Chris?
Oh yeah, yeah. I Force Awakens. I had a great time watching
Really?
Force
Okay.
Awakens. It was the first time I had fun with Star Wars since I was a kid. Last Jedi. I'm still trying to
Figure
get
it
o-
out.
You know, I guess I feel like it's just Star Wars is kind of leaving me behind in a lot of ways. But
See what happens when Disney buys them out.
Well,
This is what happened.
No, but
it's-
like
even
nah,
when Disney had it, I actually thought JJ kind of copied a lot of stuff, but did a good job making
a lot
the
of people
same
said
atmosphere.
Yeah.
Last Jedi seemed to just kind of do the opposite of what people expected, to almost subvert the expectations and almost protect itself by doing something completely different. And I didn't enjoy that. And
Yeah.
was,
they kind of
uh,
finished up the Luke Skywalker story in a way that just left me a little deflated.
even
I
Mark
wasn't into it.
Hamill said months before The Last Jedi came out that he hated the way he was
Yeah,
portrayed.
I think he's
in it.
right.
Oh,
I mean,
Yeah.
any
I've
fan
never
of the
seen it,
original
but
movies
yeah.
Yeah.
would never think of
No, of
Luke
course
Right.
not.
being the way he is. But you know, some people love it, so to each their own.
I
think it's
could
just
I
not
could
for
go
me.
on for hours about Star
Yeah,
Wars. We
yeah.
can have an episode about that too, but but
But I think the very end of this episode is when what's her name? I always forget
Amaya.
her name.
Amaya.
When she gets into
I
she
know.
gets
Amaya's
into a,
flashpoint. She's gonna
Yeah,
go
she's
Yeah.
going to
mess up her
save
own
her granddaughter in
Yeah.
it's a 1992
I'm
Zambesi.
like, first of all, haven't you learned from your mistake, and now you're going
I
and
know.
doing it again? Like, this is gonna put a ripple
So-
in time.
So 92 Zambezi, I wrote that down. So is she trying to save Kuwasa? Is that who she's trying to save?
She's going back, I think, to save her village. Or I
No, because she
honestly
says I have to
you
save
know,
my granddaughter.
I was
going to
spend some time thinking about it, but I was like, "There's an episode next week. I'll just find out then."
Yeah.
In a way, it's kind of hard to keep everything straight. Yeah, I actually thought maybe it's something to do with her brother, but that's not quite right.
No.
I'm thinking
No,
the wrong
that's
person.
Ari's.
I'm sorry.
That's Ari's.
No, no,
yeah.
I'm
no.
thinking the wrong
Amaya,
person.
No, Amaya.
See how confused I get.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I'll
That's
find
why
out
I
next
always
week.
get them too confused because they kind of look similar. And they're-
I know better than that, but
But-
I was just trying to think of
Yeah.
what was going on
I
specifically.
don't know. She's
and
probably
I don't
gonna go
know.
back and redo things with her village.
make
and
Flashpoint again.
Yeah.
She's
She's gonna go
I don't
invest
know.
in like Dell or something.
Oh
I don't
my
know.
God.
Like,
I don't know what's gonna happen, but
92.
all I know is it's a huge mistake.
Yeah, and
Oh,
then
yeah.
so
big time. That'll be the other plot of the episode. There's Grodd,
Yeah.
Obama.
Grodd and Obama, and then I think the other part was Rip trying to stop Amaya from messing things up, and then John Noble
is
popping up.
apparently
I'm
we
really
think.
hoping that happens.
I mean, so basically in this episode you have this to recap. I mean, Mollus Nora takes out Kuwasa, and so now I think Amaya's going back to somehow prevent something.
so
We
I was
don't know.
also trying to figure out, does Mollus now have 2 totems? Do we? Because now he
No, well,
the water one
technically-
and
the water one, and now doesn't.
the-
I thought they had another
No,
one.
that was just they've always had the water one.
No, but
it's
like
just they
physically
just-
now.
Oh, physically now they have the water one, but technically they said before that they had the water one because Kuwasa was on their side.
Right, right.
That was like the whole
But
thing.
the other totem's gone, so I think they only have one. Out of,
yeah,
out
yeah,
of-
they have one. Yeah, because now, well, yeah, because they had Amaya's, but then they took it back.
Who
so
has
yeah,
the death
technically.
totem?
We
do.
We
Remember
do.
in that
Okay.
box
We do,
that
guys.
shakes?
We do?
We do.
We
No.
have it.
It's in that box, and it was like shaking around. Remember
Okay,
that?
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think we have 4
Guys, that's hard
out of
questions.
5.
Yeah. Yeah. And
That's
another
the
thing at
legend.
the end is that Ava and Sarah put it together that Rip deleted the file, and then they're like, "We're gonna find out where Rip is
As
and
they
what he
should.
did."
I'm curious about that whole thing too.
Right.
So.
So
But
I think that's
that's a wrap on Legends.
yeah, another great episode.
Yeah. Always good to.
When was the last bad episode of Legends of Tomorrow? I honestly cannot
I
think
can't
of the
think of
last
it.
bad episode.
Probably when Eobard was. No, I'm just kidding.
No, I mean I'm
No,
serious.
those
Like
were
this
good
whole
too.
season.
Yeah.
I can't think of a bad episode.
I can't either. I
This
love
season,
Legends.
I mean, this is the Bebo season. This is the
Bebo.
Bebo
Wow, that
universe.
was this
we're
year.
in.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
right. Wow.
That was
'cause
right
it's
before the
broken
hiatus.
up. Yeah, it's broken
Yeah.
up, so you don't realize. Oh wait,
Yeah,
that was still
right.
this season.
I can't believe. Yeah.
Which,
Bebo
by the
was-
way,
Yeah.
the last, I don't know, I know the episode of the last, I know the title of the last episode of the season, and it's called, I think, The Good, the Bad, and the Cuddly, which made me think of Bebo. I don't know, that may be
Yes.
completely wrong, but there could be a Bebo aspect to it, so I hope so.
I hope so too.
The
With
thing
Gary.
kind of freaks me out.
Can we
honestly,
have a
that stuff
Gary
there.
and Bebo episode?
We need an origin of Gary.
Honestly, I think Gary's gonna die. That's another
No.
Of course,
I
just
know.
when we
He's the
start to
perfect.
like
He's
him.
the perfect side character who is warmed up. Everybody likes
Yeah.
him.
And
but
then
if
he
you
gets
lose
killed
him,
off, yeah, no one
if
cares.
he dies, nobody cares. It doesn't affect
I
you.
care. I like Gary.
No,
I
but he
know,
doesn't-
like now
doesn't
that
have-
we start to like Gary, like
It doesn't
come on.
affect the show though. You can lose him and be sad
Yeah,
about
no,
it,
that's
but
true.
nothing else changes.
That's very
so.
true.
So that's Legends of Tomorrow, and yeah, now
Ugh.
it's. I saw this guy on the street.
Last night I saw a superhero, he was black. He said, "This is for the street. Black Lightning's back."
Okay, good episode.
Another Tobias-less episode. I
Thank
said that last
God.
week too.
We
but
had
yeah.
2 seconds of Tobias.
Three
where
in a row.
He's on a mural.
I don't know what the
I don't
and
remember this. Am I
It just said
missing?
hero, and I looked at it. I was like, "Was that Tobias?" Like,
Yeah,
but-
it was
I
like
must have
very. It was
missed it.
very quick.
Oh man, but
Okay.
good for Black Lives. I mean, somebody. I'm so glad one of the producers or somebody. I'm serious. Was
Yeah.
just like, whoa. You see this guy Tobias? This guy is terrible. Like, we need to get somebody in who can act, who can carry the show. Be a good
Lala.
villain. Is Greg Henry available? Like, give me Greg Henry. Lala's dead. Get Lala back in here. Like, I love that.
I
they
love
adjusted.
it.
Lala's like villain character.
I
is just-
love-
oh my
man.
But do you know
goodness,
what I
love it.
really like about him is that he's seeing all of his dead, like all the people that he killed. He's
Right.
seeing.
Right.
And they're all.
I love that.
They're all apart. They're not
Yep.
just. I thought it was just he's kind of losing his mind. No,
Nope,
they're all
part of the
tattooed
tattoo.
on
Yeah.
him. Like,
Because
that's awesome.
Yeah.
this episode had that kid, and now that kid is on the other side of his chest.
I don't. There's some noise.
There's a hum. It's the fans in this.
Is
in
it
this
really?
room.
Oh,
my
the
God.
AC.
Sorry about that.
No, I think it's warming up now. That's why there's more AC. Maybe.
It's getting ready.
Well, anyways, there's some kind. It sounds like we're
That's
being
all right.
detached from a spaceship or something.
Whatever. We're in a
We're-
spaceship.
We're in the Wave Rider. Actually,
We are. We're headed to the Earth 38
Oh, go see Kara.
to see Kara and Black Lightning. Apparently.
That's a trip I'd like
Maybe,
to
yeah.
take. I wouldn't mind.
To Earth
renting a car.
38.
No, but yeah. So back to what I was saying is, they're tattooed on him. So I like that
Yeah.
whole
That's awesome.
feature where he's seeing everyone that's pretty much
Yeah,
killed.
and I really thought I really thought that was just in his head, but it's a real thing
Yeah.
now. And I love
yeah.
how his gang members are just watching him talk to
Yeah.
himself. Like,
yeah.
he's
I-
crazy, but you can't challenge
You
him
can't
because as soon as
challenge
you
him.
try
He'll
to,
kill
he'll
you.
kill you.
Which he
It's
did.
just it's
Ripped off
cra-
that guy's ear and all that.
know.
Oh my god! When that happened, I was like, "Jeez,
I was
this
like,
guy."
damn.
It's the first time I sat down with my wife to watch the show. I was like, listen, like I'm kind of behind. I got to watch one of these shows.
Oh, she actually watched
And
it
she
with you?
Yeah,
watched
I
it with you?
usually watch it at night when she goes to bed. I watched it with her awake.
Oh god!
Oh no.
And I was
she
like,
saw the ear come off.
I was like, listen, it's actually a pretty good show. Like, I know it looks a little silly, but it's actually a good show. And she's like, yeah, I'll watch. Yeah, no problem. And then 10 minutes in, this guy gets his ear ripped off. I'm like, that's the most
Was
violent
she-
thing that's happened in any of the CW shows I've
yeah.
seen all
was,
year.
was your wife like, "Yeah, I'm not doing this"?
She was just like, oh my god, I can't believe this.
You're like, oh, of all episodes to watch, it's
Seriously.
that
Oh,
one where.
man.
I mean,
But it's funny, 10 minutes, 15 minutes in, she's like, is the music for this show really good? I was like, yes,
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah,
I was like,
another
every
good one.
single scene has
Yeah.
great music.
Very
in
good
it.
music.
Really good.
I recognize the one when they're in the Club 100. Actually, when they're talking about. Basically Lala's saying like, "Oh, we need to sell more drugs," and like,
I
"Oh,
know.
the gang
Or
members."
they ran
"Oh."
out of green light or
Yeah,
something.
they're like,
Right,
no
there is
one-
no more green
There's
light.
no more
Yeah,
green light. Nobody
yeah.
wants anything else. And Lala's like, "I don't care," and that's when he rips the guy's ear off.
I know.
and-
I was in a way. I was almost like happy for Lala. I was like, good for him, going back to cocaine and weed. Like
Right.
he's
Going
trying to
back to
push
the
the chronic.
basics.
Right. Let's go old school with this. Like give the kids the old stuff.
Yeah.
To compare to the acting, right, of Tobias and
Oh,
Lala.
yeah.
Oh, there's no comparison.
It's not
ridiculous.
even. It's just like, it's not even that Lala is like saying a lot more or anything. It's the fact that he's still like low key like Tobias, but his
Acting.
emotion.
Yeah.
He plays the villain so
Right,
much
it's
better.
great.
mannerisms.
He's
That's
interesting.
it.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
it's
right.
not-
He can hold the screen. When he's silent, you actually know he's thinking about
Right.
something.
Right,
He's
that's what I'm
projecting
saying.
a thought.
'Cause
it's
not
all the
like-
stuff that Tobias couldn't do. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's not like he's doing like the Joker, like, oh my god, we're gonna do, like he's the same like Loki, but he's evil and you know it. Like with
Oh, I love him.
Tobias, you're like,
Yeah.
oh, we need to track down this
Yeah.
green light.
but it's also
And
like the facial
okay.
expressions that he gives
Yeah.
that
He's-
is
he's
like
nailing it.
perfect.
Yeah.
I mean, this
Yeah.
is a lot of good. Even my boy Two Bits shows up.
Two
at the
Bits is
beginning.
back.
And Two Bits
I
is
love
great.
Two Bits.
I
He
was so
great.
happy. Two Bits. Is
His
back.
reactions, he's like trying to sell DVDs, and he sees
Yeah.
this
No,
girl
the
across
best,
the
the
street.
best reaction was when the chick's like chugging microwaves out of the thing to
Oh my
hit
God.
Black Lightning, and he's like, "Yo, I'm standing right here."
Yeah, that was funny.
Did you like?
I loved his first reaction
you-
though at the beginning of the
Oh
episode.
yeah, he's
when
like, "What the?"
that girl's like taking green light and,
like,
and turning
"Wait,
into lightning. He's like, what?
Wait.
He's like, yeah, I'm gonna go talk to Jefferson Pierce.
Yeah.
which,
It's funny though because I didn't realize who it was until he came
Oh,
to
yeah.
Jefferson's house and he was like, "Oh, Two Bits."
Yeah,
I was
he's
like,
like,
"No."
oh, 2 Bits. 2 Bits.
Two
Oh my
Bits left a
God.
really good impression. I
Yeah,
recognized him
yeah.
immediately.
Yeah.
I love Two Bits.
No, that was great. You need a comedy relief in
Yeah, it was
each
good.
episode.
He kind of reminds me, on the, not to switch shows, but the Marvel Netflix series, that guy, that weapons dealer that shows up in every single show. Oh God, I can't believe I'm forgetting
I'm
his
not
name.
remembering.
I'm
I'm
not
sorry.
either.
Because he's in Daredevil both seasons. He's in The Punisher. and he's always
Weapons person?
yeah, he sells weapons, and then Daredevil puts him in jail once, and then he puts him in jail again. He's like, dude, you need to stop doing this. And yeah,
I don't remember.
I forget
I don't
his name.
remember either.
That's fine. I just watched The Punisher. I don't remember, but
You
it's
guys
a really
keep-
good reference.
You guys keep talking. I'll find it.
Hey, you search for that.
Sorry to leave you on a limb. But yeah, that's kind of the premise of the episode.
Yeah.
For the most part, while they're trying to figure out what's going on with Green Light and still investigating and take down 100 from the Black Lightning gang, it's really Lala trying to push the old illegal drugs and making
Bringing
a
it
deal,
back, yeah.
putting his mom on the line, which I thought was kind of.
That was,
I
he's
know.
such talk about evil. Oh
But
my
then
god.
again, I don't think he ever cared about his mom that much.
You know, it's weird because I think he has so much confidence in himself that he
Yeah.
doesn't care. But
Yeah.
kind of a piece of shit move
That-
to
Right.
do. I mean,
That scene was funny when the guy with the long hair came in. I was like, oh, it's Thor.
That's
Hey.
he did look a little
I
funny.
was
like-
not picturing, like a big drug dealer with that long
With long hair,
I was
like,
not
Right,
thinking
Beautiful blonde hair. I'm
Like-
like, what the hell? Like, his
That
hair
was
is better
odd,
than
yeah.
mine.
He's like, I'm gonna need $1 million of coke and what, like $500,000 of chronic to push and
Yeah.
everything like that. And the guy's like, well, it's
Turk Barrett.
Turk
Barrett.
Barrett.
You
That's the
remember
name of the guy?
Turk?
I don't.
Maybe
I'm sorry.
Goodness.
is there a picture with that so we can
Yeah, yeah.
physically see what he looks like? I'm gonna be like, oh, okay, now I remember.
Portrayed by. Of course, they don't have. Oh my
Oh,
god.
come on, Dan.
Wikipedia
Slacking.
is not.
Oh, you and your
helping me out.
Wikipedia.
And in the Punisher, he gets guns.
Yes.
Because
No,
one of the whole episodes of
he's
the Punisher,
like-
he's like
he's like
getting back
this
his own
go-
supply.
Right here, right here, right here.
What?
Pass that around.
All right, we're passing around a picture of some
Yeah.
Turk. Is
Oh,
that what
okay,
it is?
I remember
Turk?
this guy.
Remember, he's the guy that's always there, and
Rob
he always-
Morgan. If you want to play along at home, it's Rob Morgan.
Yeah.
Rob Morgan.
It's the guy that Daredevil goes to whenever he needs
Oh,
info. There we
yes.
go. Finally.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he goes in Punisher. I think he goes to him too. He's like, yeah, because Punisher needs weapons in the beginning and all that.
Maybe.
Oh,
But
okay.
yeah.
Oh, interesting. Okay, yeah, no.
Yeah.
He's so brief that I didn't recognize it. Thanks, Dan.
Yeah, good job.
Good,
Yeah, thanks.
good references there.
But anyways, with Black Lightning, we really have Anissa investigating, the guys on ice, like the Captain America soldiers that are put
Yeah.
away.
Yeah.
And
Which was weird how they disappeared in less than an hour.
Yeah,
who could have seen that
yeah,
coming?
she-
You go to
she-
get the other
right,
person. and-
right, exactly.
She figured out that they're still alive. She goes back to Jefferson, just like, oh, we gotta check this out. They go back and
I like
it's-
that though,
and
because
it's not there.
there's something about how quickly these characters have become intelligent. They're not just dumb and learning a little bit. She's like
Yeah.
about to break it open, and she's like, "Wait,
oh
like,
my god,
what
yes.
would
Yeah,
happen if I
yeah.
did
When
this?
she
It would just be
stopped.
pointless."
Right,
So-
when
Right.
she stopped out, because I was like, if you hit that open, you could do a lot worse.
Well, it's
like,
also
right.
like if they're alive, you're gonna kill
Right,
them
that's
right
why-
away if you
that's
open
why-
Right.
it. Yes,
that's why
I
when
think
she stopped, I was like, okay, good.
But
Yeah.
when she
Yeah.
started running away, you cannot see her ass very well in that costume. There was a whole meme dedicated to her ass last week in the show.
And now you can't see it at all.
You can't see it very well, and I was very disappointed. I hope
Chris
they fix
is
that.
intently looking at her.
I
ass.
got a 1080p 4K
1080,
TV.
oh my
I
God.
was looking very carefully. It's not there.
yeah, they had a whole song.
There is
on
a good
her-
ass there,
her
but you
ass.
can't see it in the
Oh,
costume.
did you tell your
so-
wife this when you guys were watching?
Oh,
She was helping me.
Getting
She was
So
helping
she's
me.
like, honey, her ass is not there right now.
We have this beautiful marriage where together we just love everything the other
we
person
love
loves.
Anissa's ass. Yeah.
And I was trying to explain to her. I was like, "Listen, honey, this is about the show, about the podcast I got to do tomorrow. Like, I have to see
I
the
have to
rear."
overanalyze
Oh,
her
God.
ass right now.
Right. I like bumping up the brightness.
Yeah, because there was a whole song to her ass last week.
That's what I'm
Remember,
saying.
You were,
That's what I'm saying.
you were
Yeah.
singing it. You were like,
Yeah.
that ass, that ass.
Oh,
No, I
that
do like
ass,
her
that ass.
costume. I
Yeah.
feel like it's going to change a little bit. There's like some extra nylon or something. Like it doesn't look quite
Yeah.
finished in a little way, but
Yeah.
I love how intelligent and the good dynamic she has with
With her
BL.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
for
ridiculous.
Sure.
I mean,
Absolutely.
that family, we keep saying it, but that family is completely believable. And I
Mm-hmm.
really buy Jen's. We talked about it maybe last episode when Jen was like, "Can I even have kids?" And I was like,
Yeah,
"Why
yeah.
doesn't her mom just say, 'Of course you can'?" Well, when Jen goes to get
'Cause
an
it's-
MRI
yeah.
this episode,
Oh, that was
my
a cool
God.
scene.
Yeah,
but
that
I think that's why they kind of hedge their bets on that because
Yeah.
I'm not sure she can. She's
probably
a
can't.
generator
'cause-
and she might fry any kid she tries
Yeah,
to
so
have.
they
or
go
something.
to
Which is
the.
so sad if you think about it.
It is. It's
Oh,
a
very.
different.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a different, almost like Rogue. Like she has this amazing power, but she can't have
She
any
can't
contact with
right.
people. It's like a downside.
Because they go to the MRI place, they basically figure out that, and Lynn, the mother, tells us that Black Lightning's powers, he kind of just absorbs the
absorbs,
energy
yeah.
around it. That's why he was
Yeah.
able to shut off the lights when he goes to
Yeah.
get Gambit.
Save-
and
Very
stuff.
Save Alfred.
suspicious. Which is
Um,
another thing I love too. When what's his name, Proctor, at the end is like, Well, Jefferson Pierce shows up. The lights go out a minute later. It doesn't take a genius. And I was like, oh, everybody's so smart on this show. I love it.
Yeah.
Like real people are. But sorry to interrupt.
Right. No, you're right. I mean, like, because in other shows it'd be like, oh, who's the Flash? Who's
It's
Arrow?
No, it's only an Arrow. when it
Exactly. Like,
happens.
oh my God, Barry Allen's the Flash, and like a bus comes out of nowhere and hits him. That's what happens. Like when they're at that prison yard, like everybody dies.
You can't.
You can't know who Barry Allen is.
And so so that Black Lightning absorbs energy, and apparently, Jen just is energy basically,
like
she's generates.
She's a
bunch
generator.
of-
She's a generator, but
which
right.
is like
What's
that
that
could
term?
be more
Someone-
powerful than
yeah.
BL, honestly.
What's
Black
the ultimate
Lightning.
team up
It's-
too?
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
if they
Oh,
hook
yeah.
up, then she could.
She
'Cause
can
if-
fry
channel
you.
through
If Black Lightning
Yeah.
ever powers down, he could just be like, "Oh, I just need some of the energy," and then
Can I
he's
steal
just
some of your boost?
energy. Yeah, exactly.
Which,
That's a cool- that's
but
a cool
that was a
angle.
whole cool. That scene was pretty cool because they're going back from Jen to Anissa back into the MRI machine, and that's when Lynn is like, "Oh crap."
Yeah, because they went back and forth, and
Yeah.
Anissa was fine, whatever, and
Well, Anissa's human, basically in that MRI, like everything is working.
right
and
in
then,
the MRI.
And then when
right.
Jen goes in, it's like all red.
I thought it was
Yeah.
interesting too, though, what Anissa and Black Lightning team up later. I guess she's Thunder, right? That's
Yeah.
the name.
Yeah.
When Thunder and Black Lightning team up, they did a great little sequence there when they go back to the warehouse and everything's empty.
Yes.
She's doing cover for BL
Yeah.
as basically a shield,
Yeah.
and he's zapping everybody and
I
taking
think
care
that
of
was cool.
business.
That was a really
It
good
was
fight.
good.
Did you like how Black Lightning created like a trampoline for her to jump
Yep.
on?
Yeah,
That
that
was
was
so cool.
I was thinking too, like I hadn't seen any of this stuff before, and I
Yeah.
like that because
And
I never really know what his powers can do
Right.
per se. And
Yeah.
this was
I like they're doing it more. They're showing the powers more because that's really what I like is
Power.
these super is the
Power.
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 And yeah, because they go back and obviously none of the tubes there, but then there's guys there attacking them. He does that like little shield ball of
Yeah, that was pretty
lightning
cool.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and
that's kind of one of his basic powers. I feel like just to shield
Yeah,
himself.
shield.
That's
And
why I
I-
thought it was cool.
Yeah,
He
and I
could
like the
attack.
part where he it's kind of like a jump rope where he
Yes.
slashes
Yeah,
them
it's like
underneath
a-
and they fall.
It's
and
like a Indiana Jones
Yeah.
like whip thing,
That's kinda
honestly.
cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, this
Um,
is cool.
But then, she jumps on the trampoline and stuff. And then, did you like when she breathed and then just ran through the cement
through the wall, and
That
then
was
he
awesome.
and then he just followed right
Yeah,
after.
Black
That was actually really good.
Black
I love
Lightning's
that.
just
Cool.
like looking back. He's like, all right.
But you
well,
notice how
let's
he
go."
like ducks to get in
Yeah.
to get
Yeah.
through.
No, I love that. Like
That's cool.
there's just something about how their powers are established. They know what they're doing,
Right.
and maybe
Right.
they're a bit too well oiled, but it works beautifully. I love
Yeah.
it.
It does, and it's it was very fast that they caught on really quickly. It's both like to team up both of them.
Oh, it's so much fun, and by
Yeah.
the time it probably won't be till the end of the season till Jen maybe gets kidnapped or whatever. Like
Right.
Who
now that they know
knows?
Jefferson Pierce, but
Yeah.
when Jen becomes a part of it, like that's gonna be a
Can I tell you
kick-ass
when,
team.
yeah.
You know, I mean, because the whole thing, why they did the MRI is because they had an incident. Jen
in her
and,
room.
Jen and Anissa,
Yeah.
were arguing, and then Jen, what looked like to me like she flamed on. It looked like a
Pretty
flame on,
much,
but
but
then
it's
Anissa,
yeah.
Anissa's like, "Oh, you're just like that," and I was like, "Oh, that looks more like fire to me." But I mean,
And
I know she's supposed to be lightning.
Yeah,
but
but I think it also is triggered by anger. I think that's what it is.
Because remember, her friend was like falling down, and like it's some
Yeah.
sort of adrenaline, anger, something like
It's
that.
something to get maybe like her heart rate goes up and like she
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably something like that, kind of like a Magneto
Yeah.
type storyline.
Yeah,
like,
kind of.
Like, don't just
That's a
she'll,
good thing.
she'll learn to channel it, but as for
Right,
now,
right,
Right.
right.
In Black Lightning, Jefferson makes a good point. Like you may not want to be a hero, you got to get the whole with great power, great responsibility.
Right.
Uncle Ben. Ugh.
use the Spider-Man line. Go
I hate
ahead.
Uncle Ben. But anyways,
Aw.
but Jefferson makes a good point. He's like, even if you don't want to do it, you got to know how to control this stuff.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
you're gonna
Which made
you're gonna end up
sense.
hurting somebody. You
Yeah.
know? Yeah.
Which made sense. I liked that because the whole thing, she didn't want to do anything, but I liked the Black Lightning. It was like, okay, well, you could hurt someone, so you got to do something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that
then
makes sense.
Obviously, she will because she becomes lightning. So
Yeah. And when
But-
Anissa pissed her off by saying what you quit on
you quit track. You quit.
Khalil, right?
Yeah, Khalil.
Oh my
which
God.
wasn't true.
Khalil.
Which
Khalil-
we haven't seen
Khalil
Khalil
is-
in
I love
a
that
while.
Well, that's
we
because he's
lost
with Tobias.
right.
That's
We
right.
lost Tobias. We lost Khalil
Yeah,
too.
like
Yeah.
Khalil hasn't
And
been back in so long.
they're in their lair. You know, they're probably right next door to Curtis's lair. They come out
They're,
with some
they're
evil
in the
plan.
Helix
Curtis
Part
is
2
like-
layer.
Yeah, they probably got 6 big screen TVs analyzing the barometric pressure of the outside. But yeah, basically that whole storyline's kind of been put to the side, and it's basically about this drug, the drugs that they're trying to push in Jefferson's neighborhood, and Gamby is getting a little
He's getting the.
messed up. I mean, he's
Yes.
Yeah,
So how
li-
does he gets taken by Proctor and the ASA.
In the
How does
ASA,
he?
they
Oh, they
come
show
in.
up in the.
They show up
okay.
at the
Yeah.
tailor shop. Yeah.
Yeah, and they just pretty much blindfold him and take him to some hideout. I don't
Yeah,
even know where that was.
you know, the warehouse.
Maybe a
or
redressed
whatever.
version of the
Yeah,
warehouse we
yeah.
visited earlier.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Could that be?
The
Is that
underground
possible?
layer.
Yeah, and
And
they're
they just
basically
beat
like,
the shit out of him.
oh my goodness.
And
I
Proctor
mean,
makes a great point. He's like, so we let you go, and you can go anywhere. You end up staying in,
Yeah.
I can't remember the name of the...
Freeland.
Freeland.
Thank you. And you end up raising the guy. It's like, this is not that hard
Yeah.
to figure out. I was actually surprised he didn't know Jefferson was Black Lightning.
like
Earlier.
right away.
Yeah.
But, you know, you give it a scene and everything. But, yeah, Gamby... He can hold up. I mean, he was getting waterboarded and stuff. I was impressed. A lot of people can't take 5 seconds of that.
Oh my
but that's
God, yeah, he
super
got-
Gamby. Even when BL comes in later and shuts down the lights, it's not
Yeah.
Jefferson that kills people or you know saves the day. It's
It's
Gamby,
him. Yeah.
Gamby, yeah,
who
'cause
like
he
does
shut-
like 2
yeah.
somersaults and
I know. Well,
kills
he was former CIA ASA,
I know.
so like he's
This
got
guy,
the proper training.
This guy is unstoppable here. I don't know why he doesn't have his own suit.
Oh, I'm sure he will. Watch, that's gonna be
You think
another.
so?
Gamby, that'd be funny.
Gamby has his own suit, but but after that whole scene, it was weird because Black Lightning pretty much forgave him for everything.
Yeah,
they're like
so-
friends now.
He shuts
He
off
should,
the
too.
lights.
Yeah.
and
The
Gamby
grudge
takes
is
about-
BS.
Right. And basically, Gamby, so this is a big thing. Gamby says to Jefferson, like, you need to find the spotter, which is what
Right.
Gamby was
Right.
back in the day. And once you find them, then
Which
you'll
I
be able
can't
to
believe
find
who
the
would
ASA.
end up. Who
Oh
was
my
ended
God.
up. I was like,
I was
you
like-
gotta be kidding me.
Did you like, okay, because at the beginning, you know, they do the previously on Black Lightning, and you see the vice principal. I was like, we haven't seen her since, like, episode 2.
Yeah.
I was
She
like,
knew it was
oh,
coming.
okay, so she's the, yeah. So apparently she's the
spotter,
spotter.
but with emotions because she's like, I don't want to hurt Jefferson.
but
that
like-
caught me by surprise.
yeah.
Caught me by surprise, but like, how much can we really believe her emotion when we really haven't seen her in 6 episodes?
But then again, she always had a thing for him.
Her emotion
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
at being upset she didn't realize it was Black Lightning? Or?
no,
No.
her emotion as in like how much she cares about Jefferson. Because yes, I get it. She cared about Jefferson, but after the 2nd episode, she hasn't been back.
Oh, I don't think she. I mean, I think
No.
she has a crush on Jefferson.
Yeah.
I don't think
Yeah.
she cares that much.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So you.
I think she's actually a little bit spurned at this point.
Really?
She's not as into it. Yeah,
I mean,
'cause
yeah,
he's
she's
basically. Last time we saw her, they showed that preview. She's like, "Well, I'm not your secretary. You want to talk to
Right,
the board?
right,
Go talk
right,
to him yourself."
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I believe that obviously she's evil. She's working, spotting these random people, and yeah, at the end you see Proctor talking to her, and he's like, "Oh, you got to get Jefferson Pierce. Jefferson Pierce is Black Lightning."
Yeah,
Yeah.
I wonder how evil. Because I mean, Gamby wasn't really evil. She probably will be evil, but
I don't
I
know,
wonder
she-
maybe they have some leverage on
We
her.
don't
or
really
something.
We don't.
know
Yeah, we don't know much about her.
All we know is there's a lot of really attractive people in
All
this
of these
in
shows.
Freeland.
All of these
All
shows.
these shows too. I mean, Black Lightning's got some particularly good-looking people. I'm always impressed, but especially Lynn. Like some of them are just like really attractive people.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's kind of an unexpected twist, and I feel like she's gonna get her ass beat
Beaten.
hard. I mean,
For
You,
sure.
really, you think so?
I do.
Wow.
I think she's going to be the one who's been setting up all these kids for a long time, and who knows how long she's been vice principal. I think
Yeah,
once
we
Jefferson
don't
finds
know.
out,
Jeez.
It's gonna go downhill from there.
she's going to get the little like whip or whatever Jefferson does with his electricity. So we'll see.
Yeah.
And then a big thing also is that the Pierce family moves into Jefferson's old house. Did you like that? How he still just had this
his
whole
childhood
old,
house.
Yeah.
I know that's kind of reminded me of the storage unit that they've
Yeah,
been
they-
maintaining
just
for
there
30
or
years.
whatever.
Yeah, he's like,
He's-
well, it was in it was in
A
trust.
property manager was handling it for like years, and I was
Yeah.
like, oh, okay.
But I mean, it makes sense. It was his dad's house, and like they didn't want to sell it, and you kept it in.
No,
the
I mean, I think
family.
we're just talking about like the money wise, just keeping on a pretty
Hey,
decent
He's a
sized
principal.
house.
He makes money. No.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't seen the principal
I know.
stuff.
No, I know.
Well, we saw-
Principal that's rolling in the dough. It doesn't have to work.
Yeah, but then
He-
Lynn's a scientist, so I'm pretty sure she makes
she
a lot of
might,
money.
yeah, that's
yeah,
true. That's true.
She's a doctor. Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess so. But
That's a good explanation. Yeah.
Also, I mean, relating to the principal thing, we kind of do get that kid that
Malik,
sprayed. Is that his
Oh,
name?
yeah,
Malik?
yeah, yeah, the
Malik,
little kid.
He
who
sprayed.
ends his sentences with a preposition.
Yeah,
Should know better, kid.
yeah. And that
Well, clearly he doesn't because he needs to
He's
come
like,
in
yeah,
for school.
bro.
basically that was just
Yeah,
a
bro.
quick thing, and that Jefferson wanted him to join the mentor program.
Well,
and
that's because he was taking green light, or wasn't he? Like
He was
taking
dealing.
pills.
He was
I think
dealing
I think he was
something.
pushing real drugs.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Good old fashioned coke.
Good old-
Yeah, and then Jefferson was
Somali.
like, "Hey, go
Yeah,
to my
Somali.
go to the mentor program and all that." Because he's actually the kid that sprayed the paint on Jen way earlier in the show. If you
That's
Yeah.
what
remember
he
that.
said.
Yeah.
Okay.
He said that, yeah.
He's like, I'm sorry, I sprayed
He's
that
like, I'm
stuff
sorry
on
I
your
did that to your
daughter."
daughter.
Because remember,
yeah.
he sprayed it and he was like, "Oh, stay away from Lala." That was when Lala was alive and stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
That was kind of the more happy-go-lucky Lala. This is just like
This is
you
like
don't want to run into
dark,
this Lala.
yeah,
I
like-
like this Lala though. I
I-
didn't like the
I
other
love
one.
the actor. It's just,
yeah.
you know, Lala. The other Lala you could have a beer with. This one.
This one.
Oh, this
no way.
one's definitely more villainous and
Oh,
evil.
yeah.
Like.
And I like
Yeah.
the guy that he killed early on that came back. I don't even know his
The
name.
the kid.
Who's got the
That
burn
is-
marks in his chest?
Yeah, the one he
Oh,
shot.
right.
Yeah.
hmm
It was a good episode. I liked it a
Yeah.
lot.
I
Did
mean,
we
the
miss
show keeps getting better and better. I'm actually really surprised how quickly they've developed a lot of the superheroes.
Yeah.
I know what everybody can do. I just don't know how Jen's really going to
Tobias
fit
free.
into the
That's
picture.
why.
Tobias free.
Yeah,
It was definitely a lot slow of a show in the beginning, but I think it's
It picked
It
up.
learned its lessons. A lot
It
of shows
did.
don't do that, you know. I feel Legends did that in a big way. Where I'm not a big fan of the first season. I think it had a lot of problems, but the second season they just
Right,
came in knowing exactly how to make it fun.
They
and
pretty much bulldozed it and rewrote
completely.
everything. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's
But
it's
it also
good.
sucks for this show because if you watched it from the first 4 or 5 episodes and you stopped watching because you didn't like it, now
Right,
you're like, oh,
right.
okay.
It's like, oh, it's
So that's-
good now. Yeah.
Yeah,
It'd be-
like
it'd
if
be
you,
worth it.
like for me, if we didn't do this podcast, I probably wouldn't be watching it. I would have
Mhm.
given up on
Yeah.
the second episode.
Yeah, I could see that.
So-
I'm glad we have it
Yeah.
in our repertoire here because it's really
It's gonna be in the verse.
it's become more and more enjoyable.
Yeah, it'll be in the verse definitely next year because it's going to get renewed.
I'd
Also-
really like to see the interaction of him with a lot of the other
It
characters.
would
Oh,
be
yeah.
very, very interesting.
Definitely with like him and Oliver, because Oliver always thinks like he's the big leader and stuff, and then
Yeah.
Jefferson's gonna come in and be like,
I can guess.
uh-uh.
I
Be
can
like,
guess
"Nah."
Oliver's like, listen, you stay here. I don't know who you are. Just like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Oliver just bores me at this point. Like, I'm talking about like Flash, like the Legends. Like, I want to see him interact with people with like more than a one-dimensional personality. But he'll be good once we
Hating
get
on
through.
Arrow.
He hates Arrow.
I know.
It's not that I just.
I'm not gonna lie. This season,
I-
Arrow's
Wait,
not
so let me-
good.
I
let me ask
lament how
you.
good it was. Yeah.
Let me ask you something.
Oh.
Do you not like Oliver Queen's character, or do you not like Stephen Amell who plays him?
Oh, I think it's.
Do you like the
No,
actor,
I
or
think
do you...
Stephen Amell actually has a lot of charm.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I know, I kind of, I don't say I grew up with Arrow, but I know the Green Arrow from the
Right.
comics and Canary, and
Totally
he's
different,
a
yeah.
fun,
Yeah.
he's a
Yeah.
fun superhero
Oh, yeah.
who teams up and does a lot of cool
Oh, yeah.
stuff. I don't get the depressed version of Ollie in the show.
Okay.
It's not Stephen Amell.
No, I wasn't
I
sure
would
if
actually
it
say
was...
I would actually say all the acting on Arrow is above par.
Yeah.
I just don't get. I don't get why we have to be depressed on Arrow.
Well, I think when they started the show, because if you know the Green Arrow comics, Green Arrow and this TV show totally different.
Oh, absolutely.
totally
which is
different.
fine.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I don't. I'm
No,
not,
but I
you
think-
don't have to do everything the same.
Right. I think honestly, because what a lot of people say is that when they started this show, they wanted a darker,
Yeah.
almost Batman feel
Yes.
for a show.
Which
It-
it
it
is
has
pretty
that.
dark.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And that's
Very
what they
dark,
did,
yeah.
and I think that's what happened.
I can
But-
see that. I kind of miss a lot of.
It's
the
still
early
dark though if you
characters.
think about it, because they also switched the time of when it airs, so it's 9 o'clock instead of 8.
Oh yeah,
I
it's
know.
still
So-
dark. Yeah.
I don't know.
It's definitely
Dark.
on later. It's definitely a
Dark.
whole different experience.
Yeah, it is different.
At 9
experience.
o'clock, I mean, I'm a completely different person than I was at 8.
Did we miss anything with Black
Digesting
I
my
mean,
day.
let's be real. We watch it at 11, so
Yeah,
I watch it pretty late. I actually don't
I
even
watch pretty
record.
late,
I don't
too.
have cable, so I just end up watching on the app or downloading it
yeah.
or something.
See, I
so.
have a TiVo DVR, so I wait and then I watch it like an hour after.
They still do that. Defy your world. Dare to live
Dare
in
to
ours.
Dare to
defy.
live.
I love
remember
it.
that.
I
Yeah,
love
yeah.
it.
And then at the end, it's always like, I'm Eliza Taylor. Like,
Yeah,
watch
yeah,
me.
yeah,
I don't know
yeah,
what show that
it's
is.
Oh,
like
iZombie.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
iZombie.
okay.
She
I
does
always
the
say, I'm Eliza
promos.
Taylor.
I'm
Yeah.
Eliza Taylor.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool how they do that.
the promos, yeah.
Well, anyways,
Yeah.
back to
Back
the
to,
goodbye. The goodbye. I mean, we're done with Black
Yeah,
Lightning.
we're pretty much done with Black
Basically,
Yeah,
Lightning.
did we
the-
miss?
No,
there's
the
Cliff-
vice principal is the spotter.
Right,
Um,
okay.
Yep.
BL and Gamby are back on good terms again, as
Pretty
they
much good
as they
terms.
should be.
Yeah.
I actually think Gamby's kind of a real heroic character in a lot of ways. Like he's the
In this
one that's
episode,
really
he was.
well, even in general, he's the one that basically allowed for people to even know what was going on in this secret program. So there's a lot to like from
Yeah.
that.
Overall, good episode.
Yeah.
Yes.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Did you know that the actor that played Gamby actually played Colonel Hicks in Aliens before he was
Yes.
taken off? You
Yes.
didn't know that? Yeah.
Yeah, I did know
He
that.
got replaced by Michael Bean.
Yes.
That's a
Wow.
bitch. You could have been in.
That's a horrible
Come
thing to do. I
on,
know.
you could have been
I know.
Colonel Hicks in Aliens. Like, I know every line of Aliens. That's a classic
It's
of
a
a movie.
classic, absolute classic.
Bay 12, please. You ever see that movie? Fantastic movie. But anyways, that's BL. So
BL.
Yeah.
Yeah.
BL.
I'm calling it BL now. Yeah.
Yeah. People do little abbreviations online.
The
too.
BL.
The BL.
I really like it.
Yeah.
It's good. But now
Last but not
Now
least,
we go to Arrow.
Yeah.
We go to Arrow,
You have failed this city.
which he doesn't say that often anymore.
Oh yeah, he never says that anymore.
When's
But,
the last time we heard that?
Yeah, seriously.
You failed this
failed
omelet, so
this.
the closest
You
we got to it. Yeah.
Season 4.
Failed.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Good episode for
Oh.
coming back on hiatus 2 weeks.
True. True.
It was iffy for me, honestly.
Really?
Oh, also, wait. Before we start this, can we? Because this is an Arrow question.
Sure.
Do you guys think Merlin's alive?
Yes.
Yes.
You guys definitely
Oh,
think so.
absolutely.
Okay. Because
I mean, we found out there's 2 more Lazarus Pits.
Three.
Yeah.
Merlin's
Three more.
alive.
Well,
no,
no,
2 more.
two
We know
more.
of 1, so there's 2
There's
more.
3. They destroyed one. There's 2 left.
okay.
I mean,
Merlin is alive and well, and he's probably behind a
Absolutely.
pillar in the
Because-
Arrow
no.
layer.
First of
I
all,
feel
you
like
can't you
this
can't get
is-
rid of Jack Barrymore, like Barrowman,
Bowerman,
whatever it
yeah,
is.
Bowerman, yeah.
You can't get rid of him in anything.
I mean,
so-
that's because
he was on Doctor Who too, right?
Yeah, of course.
He was.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
Wow.
Doctor
I
Who,
don't know
and then
Doctor
he had
Who.
a spin-off show called Torchwood.
Oh, okay. That rings a bell a bit on BBC,
Yeah.
right?
BBC. Yeah,
He
he's super English.
definitely is an actor again that plays the villain so well. But I
Yeah.
just because the start of the episode is a flashback to 4 years ago when Thea gets in the limo.
With her
Remember
long
that?
hair
With her long
again.
hair, yeah, I remember that. And
I didn't notice that at all.
You didn't?
What?
Her long hair?
Yeah.
She had that like the
This
first
is
couple
like-
seasons. I actually liked her hair.
This was
long.
before she went to.
No, I know when it was supposed
for
to be.
Maltese.
I forgot to look
Yeah,
at her
yeah.
hair. I
Oh,
guess.
come
yeah.
on, man.
I was looking at my boy Malcolm.
But yeah, so
I know.
they-
He's
I
very
had-
suave in his suit.
I was having
The
memories
shit.
of a different Arrow show, and I was like,
The-
oh yeah.
You're like,
you
oh yeah,
remember?
I remember.
they had that flashback, and as I'm thinking, I'm like, I gotta ask them tomorrow because
Yeah.
they keep like small referencing that Merlin's. And if you remember the end of season 5 when Merlin saves
Thea, right.
They don't. They just.
Yeah.
You just hear the explosion. You don't
don't
hear
see
or
it.
see
Exactly.
Malcolm.
You're
or
gonna
He's
anything.
kill.
alive.
You're gonna kill
Yeah.
Malcolm Merlin
Yeah.
off screen.
Right.
I
That's
don't
why.
think so.
That's
No.
why it's just like if it was off screen, because especially on these shows,
Oh,
like
yeah.
you need to see it to.
And he's
like,
been shot
believe.
at by Green Arrow so many
Right.
times, and he still lives.
Exactly. He's
Even
got
with
a
the part, not the accelerator, the bomb that he does in the glades.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh right.
He
Oh, my
still
God.
survives.
He's got a
that whole
mechanical
thing, so
hand.
It's like,
I mean, the
yeah.
guy's.
That's right, he has
he'll
that
be
now.
Yep.
fine.
Oh,
he's
he's
banging
alive.
around somewhere.
Okay.
He's gonna pop up.
I needed to ask
no doubt.
that. And
Maybe
make
he's
sure.
in Nandabar Pot still, and like,
That's so much fun to
trying to
say.
figure
Nanda
out-
Parbat, yeah.
Mandapar.
yeah, it's a
Um,
tongue twister.
Oh, I love it. I
Um,
love it. Mostly because I love all the League of Legends stuff. And
Yeah.
we get to go back with that. We have.
I was so excited
League of
when-
the
Assassins.
daughter.
You
Oh,
But
excuse
it's-
me.
League of Legends.
Sorry,
League
the
of
League of
Legends.
Assassins.
But it's
I
called
love the
something
Ra's
different
al
now.
Ghul stuff.
It's what's the new name for League of Assassins? I mean,
Thana-
I'm still gonna call it League of
Thanatos
Assassins.
So
Guild.
basically, when Merlin, when Nissa disbanded, because I actually almost forgot how they disbanded the
Right.
assassins, but Nissa disbanded the assassins, and basically, I mean, Merlin put in this kind of safe.
Well, because
thing-
he was raised for a while.
Yeah, he was.
And
Yeah, he
then-
was Ra's al Ghul, and then like, I guess when they disbanded it, he kind of put in place like just for another
Right.
like League of Assassins basically, but they called it the Thanatos Guild.
Which, yeah, and the
Yeah.
the girl annoyed me.
Athena.
Athena.
Athena. She was
Oh, I thought you were
annoying.
talking about Felicity.
No.
Yeah, no, Athena.
You hate Felicity.
I just.
I don't know how you
never
still
mind.
watch this show when you hate it so much.
I don't
No.
because I
No.
like a lot of the actors. I kind of after last season, I was like, this show's
Oh,
the show's back.
season
I
5
honestly
was
thought that
good.
the show.
Oh, that you thought it was gonna end in season 5.
No,
No,
I
no, he
thought the
thought it was
show
back
learned its
instead.
lesson and was like, we're
Oh,
like
gotcha.
coming
Season
back, and
5
I was like, holy shit!
Season 5 was
Yeah.
good.
And then this season happened, so
I know this is a
Um,
horrible season, but
that's
this
right, Oz.
episode, it was good to have Nissa. I love Nissa.
Mrs. Fantastic.
She's,
Nissa
she's
was
she cut
back.
her, she cut her
Nissa.
hair.
She looks, her bangs look great, and I have no idea. I have no idea about Nissa's hair. I just know Nissa. We were talking
yeah.
about beautiful people in the CW.
Oh,
Nissa's
yeah,
up
she's
there.
gorgeous.
Nissa's awesome.
Absolute gorgeous.
The daughter of the demon. I love
Yep.
Ra's al Ghul, Ra's al Ghul, all that stuff. But you can't disband the League
No, of course
of
not.
Assassins.
Right, I mean, she even said it like, you can't run away from this, Thea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it starts out, it's a going away party for Thea, and I was like, oh, well,
Oh,
this
with
is
the
happening
token
now.
appearance of William, who like dabs
Yep.
something
You-
on the cake, and
Yeah.
that's something I would
Little-
do.
I was thinking, what a little shit.
Oh my god, that's
just
something I would totally
getting
do.
a little bit of the
I
cake
love-
on his
I
finger
cannot
and running
tell you-
away.
I cannot tell you how much how much I love the fact that you hate William. I can't because you
I
hate him
mean,
so much, and
I
it's so
don't-
funny.
I don't know why you hate him.
I don't know
He's
either because he's not even.
I don't hate him. I just he doesn't bring anything to the show for me or anything.
No, he's just like the son. He's
Right,
exactly,
there.
but he's just there to be like, this is a different side of Ollie, and Ollie's face, because Steven plays it so
He got
hard,
pissed.
is just like,
Yeah.
I love you, William. Like, I'm your best dad now. He's like, oh, like, that's too small of a slice. Go get yourself a big
Yeah.
slice. Best dad ever, number one
Best-
dad. And I was like, yeah, okay.
Use a fork. Stop getting frosting. Yeah,
I know, yeah. Well, another
No, but, like,
another
when-
endearing
yeah.
moment with
Yeah.
William.
Did you like how William is like the same height as Thea?
Kind
Isn't
of.
that
he was
crazy?
pretty little?
He was
Yeah.
pretty tiny.
Yeah.
But it was just funny, that whole scene, because it's something that I would do because I love frosting.
Oh yeah,
So
I
I'd be
love
like,
frosting.
Yeah,
I love frosting.
I would cut a slice.
even though it was pink, I
Yeah.
wouldn't like.
You could get an
pink
edge
frosting.
piece that has more of the frosting.
Love
Yeah,
the
you think it
edge
was
piece.
pink like strawberry? You think it was like strawberry frosting?
It was buttercream
What do you guys
with
look at?
red.
You guys looking at hair and
We
the
look
cake?
at everything.
We look
I'm
at
looking
every
at like
single
the actors'
detail.
faces.
No,
I
no.
keep forgetting
Did
to
you
look
not?
at
I mean,
the-
that was a pretty well-made cake, honestly.
Something that I would bake because I'm
Oh.
a baker. Did you guys
Can
know
you
that?
make
I
that?
didn't
Can
know
you
that.
make that
Yeah.
exact cake? And bring it in?
Absolutely. You want me to make a Thea-based cake for you
You
guys?
say,
and bring
and
it
say
in?
goodbye, Thea, on it.
Make
too.
a cake of Williams so we can cut it up in little pieces.
Oh
Like,
no! No!
what's that Star
Why
Trek
are you-
episode when they have the Deanna Troy cake, the cellular peptide cake, you know, with
It's
mid
like, well,
frosting?
they're like printed
William-
on, and then you can just cut
William
the
has
faces.
Yes,
Yeah, yeah,
there we
yeah.
go.
William has literally done nothing bad. He has a Flash backpack. You should be happy about that. And now you.
Yeah, he likes everything.
I don't
Flash.
wish him ill. I just don't want him in the show. He should stay home
like,
and play
"Get him,
video games.
get him."
stay
out.
home. Play video.
It's okay. I mean, it's
It was
more
only
of
a
just
token appearance.
he popped up at a time when my anger at Arrow was so
Right.
so
Yeah.
strong
Yeah.
that he got caught in the crossfire.
It's fine. You don't have to make the cake. It's fine.
Oh, now I'm gonna make it because I
mean,
love baking. So
I mean, you should probably make the cake.
I will. Make
If you
the
made a
cake.
cake and it said goodbye Thea on it, that'd be actually.
Do you want me
really
to? I'll
nice.
do it.
Don't put goodbye Thea on it. I feel like
I'm gonna
that'd
say
be
goodbye, Dan.
Yeah, goodbye,
going away
Dad.
party.
Dan's leaving.
Um,
Bye.
So while this whole thing's going on, Diggle brings up again that he's like, oh.
I mean,
Oh,
I'm so
Diggle.
annoyed with
Oh,
that.
okay. I thought it was just me. I was
No.
getting annoyed too.
Wait, what are you annoyed about?
That
he
he's
keeps
just-
on saying.
he keeps reminding Oliver that he wants to be
Yes.
the Arrow.
See, I'm annoyed at Oliver. Like,
No, dude.
Oliver's like, I
telling
need you to be Green Arrow. I'm just stepping in
Right.
for a minute. And
I
Diggle's
was-
like, you done yet? Because I'm ready to step in.
I
No,
get that, but at the
yes,
same
go ahead.
time, sorry. At the same time, Green Arrow is Oliver Queen. You
Yes.
can't replace that. And the fact that he said it in the first place, I get it because of the whole William thing, which whatever.
Right.
But now it's getting to the point where it's so redundant. And
Yep.
and
Well,
Diggle is just like,
yep.
I want to take over. And the preview for the next episode, I'm like, are you effing
Oh my
kidding
God,
me
we need
right
to talk
now?
about that.
I don't know the preview, but
Okay.
yeah.
We'll talk about
It's
that
just so stupid. But I'm like, they're gonna dedicate a
was-
whole episode with Oliver and Diggle fighting,
Yeah.
basically. Over
Fighting?
Yes.
Yeah.
Physically.
Which, to be honest,
physically.
I want to see that fight, but
I mean, it doesn't
I mean-
surprise
That doesn't-
me.
But at the
In a
same
show
time-
that develops William, they're gonna do that.
No, but at the same time, I agree with you, Dan. I'm very fed up with it. I'm like,
Oh,
get
yeah, I
over
mean,
it. You're
okay,
done.
I'm annoyed
I was-
now that I know what's happening next episode. It does annoy me,
Yeah.
but I feel like Thea says at the end of the episode, just don't lead Diggle along. Tell him, hey,
Right,
I'm
right.
Green Arrow.
Right,
You're
right.
not.
Exactly.
You're, you know.
And I think that's what's
light
gonna
up
prompt the
mask
fight.
guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
To be honest,
to be
but-
honest, I was with you. I felt bad for Diggle. You know, he said he was going to be Green Arrow, but then
One
at
of the
one-
best characters on the show. He has nothing to do.
Right, in because the
He's
whole
eating
thing was
cake.
all Oliver told Diggle he would be Green Arrow, but he keeps on and he kept on asking this episode, and I was like, honestly, it's and they say it actually for a preview of the next episode. It's literally a uniform. If you want to make a red Arrow uniform,
Yeah.
go do that.
Or
like,
make it
what
all
is
black.
the what,
Like-
what
No,
is
that's
the
not
problem?
even a. I didn't even. Yeah, just make him.
Yeah.
Just make it. That's what
Speedy
he's
or
so.
something,
It's
yeah.
like if you want to be the Green Arrow so bad, just get a bow, get an arrow. You can wear your helmet still, Diggle. It's
Right.
fine.
Just
Like,
call yourself
Yeah.
Black Arrow. I
Yeah,
don't know. Like, you're
Yeah.
black, so just make a black costume and then
Yeah.
just go,
It's ju-
you know.
yeah.
That's why. Again, I mean, you said it a couple episodes. Like, I always feel bad for Diggle, but like now it's like, why is he so fixated over this when he can honestly just be like the Red
Yeah.
Arrow? Or
Well, he's
something, like-
fixated. I mean, I'll stick up for a little bit. He's fixated because he had that kind of crisis when he was the Green Arrow. Now he's
Right.
over it, so he's ready to kind of jump back in and prove to himself that, like,
yeah.
I'm ready to do it. I kind of get his story, and also I don't like that Oliver's like, yeah, I'm just here for like a couple days, and I'm
Yeah.
leaving. And then you kind of find out in this episode, well, actually, William, the little shit, is actually okay with him still being Green Arrow, and he's like,
Yeah.
oh, like my son accepts it.
Yeah, that's what he said.
So
He's like-
it's kind of different.
Which is true because the whole
Yeah.
reason why he stopped being Green Arrow was because of William.
Right, and
Right.
now because that
And
brought
being
me
the-
around to Oliver too, is because like the
Yeah.
whole thing was like, oh, he wanted to be a better father, but now William's like, oh yeah, you can be the Green Arrow. So it's like,
yeah, well, it's just
I don't know. It's like
I get
it's
it.
annoying, but at the same time, I get why Diggle's being the way he is, and he was. I think he's also he wants a seniority, and
Right.
I feel
think
like
he just-
that's what
he
he's
wants
missing.
to prove it to himself too, because
Right.
basically when it ended, he was demoted in a way because he couldn't, he was kind of having a crisis and he couldn't handle the
Right.
job.
Yeah.
I have
But I'll-
no problem with Diggle being Green Arrow, but like
I do.
I have no, listen, because I'm saying I have no problem with him being Green Arrow, whatever. But like, what's the problem with Oliver also being Green
Well, you
Arrow?
can't
at
have
the
two
same-
Right,
of
do
them.
do both.
Right, no,
I
I'm
get
saying
that.
get it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No,
like,
you're right about
right.
that.
That's what I'm saying. And
Right.
and yes, Chris, they did make it into what are we looking at over there?
Oh,
What?
nothing.
Oh, sorry. And that's why it leads into the next episode, and literally the whole preview is, you said you were going to give it to me. He's like, oh, why don't you just get another uniform? Brr, brr, brr.
Oh.
And you see glass shattering in the Arrow Cave, and it's just them fighting. And
Yeah, that's the next. I'm not gonna like the next.
It's
episode,
I would
but-
honestly, I
Who's,
think
who's the? Isn't Diaz the bad guy for the season?
Yeah.
yeah.
Where-
And
where
we
is-
haven't seen
which
it.
he hasn't. And this was a Laurel-free episode too.
Laurel
which I
free,
didn't like.
Diaz free.
Although we
yep.
found out that Captain Lance is like, yeah, she's at home in the apartment. Hell
Oh,
of a house
she's a better
guest.
cook.
Oh my god.
She's
I
a better
know.
cook than
Better
the
cook,
original
just as
Laurel.
messy as Laurel.
It's
It's like, yeah, you're a little creepy still,
Lance
Lance.
is he's a creepy dude, man.
Lance, yeah, you said that before.
He's a creepster, absolutely.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, to be honest, I really do want to see the Oliver Diggle fight. I think that'd be a cool fight scene. But
I don't know.
now, well, if it's the whole episode is just them
probably
fighting,
is.
I mean, oh jeez, Arrow this year is tough.
It is tough.
But,
I know, and we're hostless as well, which is a real
Thank-
shame.
Oh, he is-
Thank goodness.
I
No,
like
Don't
Renee.
tell me he's coming back.
No.
He is definitely coming back. They said it. They said he's recovering.
He's in rehab. That's what they.
They
it
said he's
said.
recovering. He'll be through rehab. I like out of that new team. I think Renee is probably my favorite. I like
Oh
Renee.
no!
Why?
No. I just don't like him.
I like.
I might
Renee.
actually say probably Dinah's my favorite out of the team.
Yeah,
I'm
I think so.
when
Even though
Curtis-
she was very annoying.
Yeah,
in a
I was
few
gonna say, you
episodes,
guys
she's
are all
toned
annoying.
down a
She's
bit.
toned down a lot.
I like the original character. When Curtis first showed up, I was like back 2 seasons
Right,
ago.
right.
I was
Yeah.
like, I really hope this guy's not a main character, and of
Yeah, well,
course
she
he became
is.
a big
Yeah.
deal.
Although he wasn't bad this episode, and he was
He's
like
not bad,
reminiscing
I
about
mean-
Well, the whole-
Felicity.
Yeah, they've toned down that team a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right, the
Yeah.
whole new team now is like they're kind of just working on. Well, actually, it's funny because they were working on Diaz stuff while Team Arrow was working on Nissa Thanatos Guild
Right,
stuff.
Right,
and they're trying to investigate Captain Hill.
Captain Hill, which
Yeah.
we know is dirty.
Which
already.
we know already,
No
but
doubt, yeah.
Dinah
Good
put
thing
two
she
and two
doesn't
together.
play it off too obvious too. She's like,
I know
shows
that whole
up
scene
like,
was
hey,
so.
I'll take that evidence. Get out of here.
Yeah.
Nothing to see here. Like, please
Which
move on.
you
Like,
find out that evidence is actually Vertigo.
Vertigo, and then
you guys got to help explain that to me. I was getting a little confused with the
Sure.
Vertigo stuff, and then
Yeah.
that's Diaz's drug of choice, but that proved that Hill wasn't dirty.
Right.
I'm confused.
well, no, his drug of choice was
Green light. No, I'm just kidding.
no, they said that was his drug of choice.
Yeah,
at the
Vertigo.
End. But how does that show that Hill is not dirty? Wouldn't that show that she is dirty because she's covering for it?
Yeah, and that's what Dinah finds out.
I don't
I
think
thought
we
she said
kn-
that.
No. I
sorry,
think
maybe
it's
I missed that.
now.
What?
Yeah, we're getting all. I'm so confused now because I think
I was relying on you guys knowing what was
Curtis and Dinah figure out that it's Vertigo, and it's like, oh, that's not Diaz's drug of choice, whatever. But then, I don't.
But then he-
I'm so,
no,
I don't know.
If she said it's not, I actually thought she said it was his drug of choice.
No,
so,
it's not.
Okay. Oh,
It's
No.
not
then
the
that
drug
makes
of
sense.
choice,
So, yeah, 'cause
but
then the
Diaz
captain
is
was
bringing
clean.
it back.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So that's when she put two and two together and was like, well, Hill's
All right,
definitely
just-
on
I
the
just-
payroll.
I just heard
Because
that
at the
wrong then.
beginning
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
like, oh, that's not his drug, never mind. But then later in the show they're like, oh,
Which
they're
is-
bringing him back.
Right, which is cool because Vertigo was a huge thing in
Yeah.
season 1 and 2. And
I remember
liked,
that.
Yeah.
I mean, I like the original guy who was dealing the Vertigo.
Yeah. Oh, I was trying to think of his name. It was
Yeah.
like Captain something. or-
Yeah.
He just had that
something like that.
mysterious way. I liked him.
And he
I
was
liked
like
the
a
actor
gothic
too.
guy,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I remember
Yeah.
that.
But
I
you know
remember
he
that
dies.
too.
But I think it's a good twist to bring back Vertigo because that was the main drug in.
Yeah, that
that's
was
cool.
huge.
Yeah.
That's a cool call.
That's
back,
when Thea got into trouble with that, right?
Well, yeah, season 1 she
Way
was taking
beginning,
it.
Yeah.
Oh,
when she was a
yeah.
druggie.
Right.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Way
That's been a
back.
long time.
Remember
Matt.
season 1, Chris?
Remember
You
that?
liked
Oh,
it
I
back
do.
then.
You believe me? I do. When it was just like Ollie and like 4 computers in a basement somewhere. Like
When
I
he's
remember
setting up the
that.
layer, that's like the
Oh,
best
I loved
episode.
that stuff. But also we got Curtis is taking care of Haas's daughter. Like,
yeah.
that is
Zoe.
a
Yeah.
full-time job. I mean, usually being the mayor is a full-time job, but
Yeah.
somehow
Oh yeah, we forgot about
you know,
that.
That's like being principal. It takes no time at all.
Takes no time at all.
Which is actually why I think it makes more. When originally Diggle was going to become Green Arrow, it actually kind of solved something for me because I really hate that Oliver's the mayor because that's like a 26-hour a day job.
Right.
Yeah.
You got to be at
Right.
appearances,
Right.
in front of the TV and everything like
And
that.
he's always in the lair, so
He's
it's-
Right.
never doing mayor stuff
Right.
unless
Yeah.
it's like go find our $10 million.
well, isn't he also on like not hiatus, but aren't they investigating him on being
Yeah.
the Green
Is he-
Arrow?
is he,
They're still-
Yeah, they're still doing
they
that, so I think
mentioned
maybe
it-
he's not on duty right
oh,
now.
really?
They
Okay, I
mentioned
didn't
it a
really-
little bit, and they were like, "Oh, because Renee's testimony doesn't matter because now he's
No,
her-
Roy's.
Oh, Roy's. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Because he's here now, and it's still going on. Because they're
Right.
still
Right.
trying to. They're saying he's Green Arrow. Because I mean, not a lot of people know that Oliver is Green
right.
Arrow.
So speaking of Roy, Dan, do you want to? Was it Dan or Chris that you
It was
were?
me. I thought he looked really weird.
Okay. Do you want to
I
dive into
mean,
that a little?
that sounds like I'm being an asshole. I don't mean to say that he. No, maybe it's just been a few years. I mean, he was incredibly fit when we first saw him, and he
Which
was younger.
was season 3 he left? Yes, end of season 3.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, it's been a while. I don't know. He looked old and not very mobile. He looked odd to me. He didn't look like he looked like he was like sick or hurt. I honestly, that's
Yeah,
why I don't want to say anything too bad because I got the impression maybe he like had some kind of illness or something,
No,
and it didn't seem the
it's
same
honestly
guy.
3 years later.
Yeah, I would say
No,
we
that.
but
all
he-
we all gain weight. We
Yeah.
all
No, but I don't
even
mean
think
just
he
the
looked-
weight.
I don't even think he looked
slow
fat.
to me. Like
Yeah.
they were adjusting the action scenes so he didn't have to do anything because he couldn't do it. He looked like he
I
didn't
don't
look
know.
well to me.
He
I
didn't
don't-
look like fat to me. I thought he looked. I mean,
He didn't-
I don't even really
He
mean
didn't
fat.
look
I just
well.
mean.
I
No,
just
slow.
no.
think because it was 3 years later.
I don't
know.
know. Maybe
thought it was-
I mean,
yeah.
my stalking yet again.
Yeah, you would know. That's
Colton
why I
Hayes.
wanted to
Well,
bring
he
it
just
up.
lost his mother, so
Yeah.
I don't know when
Jeez.
they filmed this episode.
Maybe that's why I said I feel
Maybe.
bad mentioning it. It's just something that stood out to me. I was like, he doesn't seem capable of doing any of this
Yeah.
stuff right now.
I mean,
so
I've
maybe he
always-
was just really depressed.
Yeah, could be. I've always loved Roy, no matter what.
Oh,
I love that
back in the
character,
day.
yeah.
Hell yeah.
Can
Red
I
Arrow
really
and-
point out something really quickly?
Yeah.
The end.
No.
So the end. No. The end of the episode when they're all saying goodbye to Roy. Do you guys reminisce on when they did that for season 3?
Yeah,
when
it
they
was
were
the
all
same. He
Same
went off
road.
in the, yeah.
Oh,
Same-
I thought of that
okay.
too.
Wait,
on the
That was
motorcycle.
familiar.
same car.
Same car. Yep.
He's
Oh, was it a
driving
car?
that red Mustang or whatever
Okay.
it is.
Yeah,
that-
it's like a Dodge Charger.
and I was just like, this is the same exact scene minus Ray and Felicity.
Oh,
wow,
right.
jeez, that's right.
I
I
can
was
imagine.
just like, oh my god, this brings back memories
Yeah,
from
that
season
was.
3.
Geez,
I could
yeah.
imagine Willa Holland getting the girl that plays
Willa,
Thea,
Yeah, Thea.
getting in that car and just being like, "Oh, thank God! Could you get me the hell out of here? Like, just drive me over to Black." I was hoping they were going to say like we're moving. It would have been like a nice reference. He's like, "Where are you
They
going?"
We're
ended-
moving to Freeland.
They
Right,
ended,
Freeland or Star City or what is it? Central City
Central
or something.
City.
Yeah, yeah.
they ended. Did anyone else feel at the end of that episode that they're going to destroy the last? It sounded like they were setting up another show.
Oh, Miss Spinoff.
Did a bit.
Yeah, it's because
Maybe.
like it's Nyssa, Thea, Roy, and they're going off on this mission to destroy the rest
To
of Lazarus
destroy the
Pit.
pit,
It sounds
yeah.
like another show, honestly.
Maybe. I mean,
I mean,
don't-
it'd be almost be a kind of a fun. Not it couldn't be a show, but just like a 6-episode engagement.
Yeah.
No, right. That's what
hunting
it just.
down
The way they
Lazarus
set it up
Pits.
was like this was like the pilot for it. It's
Right.
just yeah.
right.
But yeah. So they.
I'd watch it.
oh
got-
I
yeah,
probably
I'd
would.
watch
Got
it.
Nissa in them. I'd watch it.
So yeah, they're trying to find this. I was a little confused at the beginning, but obviously it came. They were like, "Oh, we're looking for this map," and Nissa's like, "Oh, they're gonna come after you because you know where it is." And this map leads to something ancient, and I was like, "Why are we fighting?" Like they didn't even know what it was, and they were like
Right,
fighting
they
over
didn't
it.
wanna
So that's why I
spell it
was like
out.
a little.
Yeah.
I wasn't
confused
thinking
there.
Lazarus Pits. I was
I
thinking.
No,
wasn't
I
either.
wasn't either.
I actually.
But then when they mentioned like ley lines, I was like, oh, we're getting all magical
I
here
know, I know.
because
Yeah.
ley lines it's a magical thing.
What I was convincing myself it was at the beginning was like some ancient power that couldn't get into the wrong hands. And I was
know-
like, okay.
No joke. For a second, I thought maybe there's going to be a totem and it's going to kind of connect to what's going on. I think it would have been kind of a cool idea.
That would
I
have been a
mean,
cool part of
but
it.
that'd be too much. But yeah, once we get the ley lines, then the Lazarus Pits did kind of occur to me. I was like, oh,
yeah, it made
okay,
sense.
this is kind of this seems to
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
similar.
And
Yeah,
I
so-
liked how the whole thing was like Merlin's thing. Like it's
Yeah, it's all
and-
created by Merlin, and
Yep.
like this Thanatos Guild is going after it because they want to. I mean, because neither of them know what this ancient power is, so they were like, "Oh, we need to get it." And
Is that right? Athena didn't know what it was.
no,
either?
but
No.
she knew that they needed Thea's blood to unlock it, and I was like, oh my goodness.
Oh, okay.
It's
Right.
like, yeah.
For the paper.
For the paper, yeah.
part. Yeah,
The
yeah.
bacteria-infested paper that responds to her
Yeah.
blood, which is advanced technology. Yeah.
And
I'm not hating on it. I thought
No,
it was
no, I
okay.
know.
That was okay.
I know.
did you? Oh, I found this hilarious when Felicity's trying to decode the whole like box thing,
Yeah.
and this is right there.
The
and she's
greatest
like-
mathematician in the world?
Oh yeah,
John
right.
Felicity?
Yes. And
Oh, and how she's
this
like,
is there.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
She's like, oh, I'll stay here, so make sure you're not distracted, sister wife. And I was like, oh my god, she
That
kept
was
on
I
funny.
doing
love
the
how
wife
she
joke.
still's like, hi, husband.
Yeah, it
Right.
was so.
And
I
he's like,
that,
I'm married now.
I
There
like
was a-
that he said, he's like, oh, I'm married now, you can't say it. But she could have easily came back and be like, oh, well, you know, it's the rule. But she was funny about it. She was like,
funny
yeah,
about
but then
it.
it gets Felicity mad, which I like. And I was like, oh, that was funny.
There was another part when Felicity's or Anissa's or Anissa, jeez.
Nissa.
Nissa is like, I don't joke about anything, and Felicity was like, except when it comes to our marriage.
Yeah.
And they cut to Nissa's face, which was just stone cold. Like that was pretty funny. Like I said, I don't, and it's not me even hating Felicity. Like I like the actress and everything. It's just
Right.
sometimes like the character is like dominates
Which
the show.
I'm,
and I don't
I'm
get
kind
it.
of upset about the whole relationship between her and Oliver right now because there's no romance right now. Do you notice that? There's like nothing.
Something
I mean,
did seem nice.
With these shows, it's very tough. I mean, we saw it on.
Thanks, Chris. You're like, I
wasn't-
hate them together.
I was enjoying a little
It's-
bit more.
I mean,
it's-
she's still like touchy-feely with him.
Yeah, they don't touch on it.
Yeah.
You're right.
But
No,
like,
it's-
there's no like physical romance anymore, like there was when they hyped up the relationship
Right.
and stuff.
And the thing, I mean, you notice more with these shows, and even with The Flash, a couple weeks ago, they mentioned that Barry and Iris were married just to kind of like remind
Right,
us.
right.
Right. They don't have
It's
moments.
it's like because they want to try to get the plot going, and they think like, okay, we got to do like a date in here, which they
Yeah.
kind of. It's not like forgetting about it, but it's like they kind of toss. It's like, okay, they're married. We already dealt with that and stuff.
It's,
You know,
it's kind of
it's
boring
just-
now.
You're right. You're right. There should be a little bit more mention of it, but they
Yeah.
focused on it a lot, kind of earlier, and then moving in with William
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
No, I know, but
right.
it's like there should still
be
be
there.
some sort of emotion, like they did in the opening of season 4, where
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
she's like making an omelet and can't
Yeah.
do that, and
That's right.
you know even that chemistry was still there.
That's true. It was pretty
Yeah.
heavy. That's when the chemistry was kind of at its
Right,
peak.
'cause
well, that's when they felt like they were
left.
married because they were living
Yeah.
in this house
Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I just kind of
Another
missed
thing
that.
that gets brushed over all the time is they never mention like the fact that they mentioned like once like a month ago is that Felicity is the stepmom of William. Like I never even like
yeah,
think about
you didn't think
that,
about
like,
it.
But it's just
It's
yeah.
true. I don't know. I
She's
kind
a good
of.
mother to William.
I'm
I
kind
don't
of
think so?
missing the love interest. Chris is like, no, I'm sorry.
I don't feel so good. The more we keep talking about it, I'm losing my appetite.
But it's just funny because the two actors that play them are like best friends in real life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm not.
So again, with my
in
stalking,
real life, I'm not hating anybody.
no, in my stalking, because I follow Stephen Amell, he posted a picture of, and the caption, it was his wife, his kid, and Emily
I
Ricard.
saw
Oh,
that.
yeah, Emily.
And then his caption was wife, child, TV wife.
Oh wait, I
There
think
was
I might have
some,
seen
You see
that.
that? I
actually,
thought I
yeah.
was like, this is great.
That's funny.
I'm not. I don't monitor all this stuff, but I did pick up some of the waves of. I guess there was a picture that Stephen Amell put out of Felicity's or of Emily Bett Ricard's.
Ricards.
Ricard's.
Yep.
Hard, yeah.
Like her couch, that she gets a couch on the set, and I guess that got a lot of fanboys
Really?
commenting on it. Everybody else gets a chair and she gets a couch because it's like
It's-
Queen Felicity's show. There's a lot of people supporting it. I mean, it's just a joke.
Yeah.
It's just something.
Right.
No,
funny.
it's all a joke. But
Speaking of that too, in the recap of this episode, like right before the episode starts, they.
They recap like everything.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
great.
well, yeah,
I,
because
that, I
I
love
mean,
that.
2
I
weeks
need that.
hiatus, you kind of have
Right.
to figure
I
out
need
what's
that.
going on
Yeah,
again.
I hope
yeah.
Supergirl does like a 10-minute.
Oh yeah, they need to.
To talk about Scoop.
But it's funny. They were showing. They showed Thea's face, and Oliver's talking to her. He's like, Thea, like you should go be with Roy. Don't you see what Felicity's done for me? And she has this look on her face, and I was like, I wonder what she's really thinking about right now, 'cause she looks like she's about to throw up. Like it looked like a really funny face.
Yeah.
But overall, I think this episode, kind of hearkening back to what's happening with the League of Assassins, is actually really cool. One of the
I like
stronger
it, yeah.
elements still in the show. I
Right.
like that a lot.
Me too. And then the whole other side story with Dinah and
Yeah, basically
That
they
was pretty quick.
Yeah, they basically just find out that Captain Hill is dirty, which
right.
we knew,
And
she
I,
didn't play
I
it
do
off.
I do want to bring up the whole Curtis flirting with the police officer
Oh, yeah.
there. First of all, I don't know this, but like if you are gay, do you have like do you know if someone else is gay?
You,
Because
you didn't notice his hair?
what it was.
No, I don't. His
No,
gaydar
no,
must
not-
be very good.
I
I was
think-
actually
saying,
I was
'cause
thinking
like,
that too.
What if he's straight
Right.
and you're asking him out?
Right,
Like,
right,
but then
right.
he was like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah.
I
I was
know.
just like, "All right, of course." Well, usually the most good-looking people are.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of funny too.
No,
He's
no
like,
offense, guys, but
no, and I know what you mean, but it was funny. He's like, "Oh, you want to tour the evidence locker?"
It's
And I was
so
like,
weird.
"Tour?
It's so weird.
What are you going to show him?" But
Yeah.
that was a whole scene. And
was a-
I thought the same thing. But the guy was very responsive. I think when they first
Yeah.
talked to him, he's kind of putting out his feelers and flirting with him a little bit at the
Right,
evidence
right, right.
place, and
Yeah.
he seemed to be very,
I
receptive
just
to it.
was like, "Oh, I guess there's a huge
Right.
gaydar that I don't know of."
They,
that
they're using senses we can only think about.
I
There's
know,
things
I
going
know.
on we don't even realize.
No, but he's
Um,
like getting back on the horse. He said so. I
Yeah,
was like,
back on
okay.
the horse, Curtis is.
Since his divorce.
Yeah. He should
That's
go.
right. Wow. I
Yeah.
almost
You
forgot
should
about
take
that.
all
Yeah.
his advice and go do what Thea did. Just leave the show and
Just-
go with this guy somewhere.
Just don't come back.
Yeah.
You know, it's fine.
Take Haas with you while he
So-
recovers.
Yeah.
So to confirm what happened, they found the map in it's like a map of the world, right? And there's like, oh, there's 3 points on here, and
With the ley lines.
Yeah, and Nis is
After they
like-
open the Hellraiser box, they make that
right,
joke
yeah,
a few times.
yeah, a few times, and then
Was
Nis
it
is,
you opened, you called, I answered. That's what they say in Hellraiser. You guys know those movies?
Yeah,
the
I don't know. I
Cenobites
forgot
and
the
stuff.
exact quote,
I
but
Yeah,
know
it's
the
something
quote.
like that.
they
yeah.
referenced
But,
it.
um,
Yeah, a couple times.
yeah, and they basically Nis is like, oh, after after we disbanded the League of Assassins, Merlin made 3 Lazarus Pits or something, and you said they destroyed one.
The main one, the one that she
That happened on the show.
Thea got
Yeah,
resurrected.
but like,
in,
are
yeah.
these? So there's 3 new ones though.
No.
There's 3 in
there's-
total.
yeah.
One has been destroyed.
Okay.
2 are left over.
Correct.
Okay, so
Yeah.
yeah.
So the one Thea and Sarah got resurrected in
Right.
is gone.
right.
So like if
Yeah, I knew
if
that. I,
have,
didn't know if there was like 3 more.
No, there's
no,
2
like,
more.
If,
Right.
if you have 3 donuts and you eat one,
Right.
you have 2 left over. Is what
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You got
That's
that
the idea.
analogy?
And the one you
got it?
ate was the big donut.
The one you ate's just gone. Yeah.
It's the massive donut.
I didn't know if it was like 3 additional donuts or just like
No.
right.
You're
So
thinking of donut
It's
hole.
Cane's,
Anyway.
Cane's Donuts in Boston.
oh my god, Cane's is so good.
I don't know. I've never had
I've
it.
never even heard of it.
Seriously?
I
Well,
don't-
no, there's
I-
not one. There's one in
I don't know where
No,
they
now
are.
we're talking Massachusetts.
Union
People aren't
Union
gonna
Square
know.
donuts I like, but
Oh,
I'm
okay.
not a
those too.
donut
I'm
guy.
not a donut
Those are
person, so-
expensive. Like,
Are they?
Yeah.
We
We
went
got-
off. We went
Anyways,
off.
Yeah, we did. Nobody's.
See, we're thinking food now.
If people are in California listening, they're gonna be like, "What is Union Square?"
people are
What's
always
going
jealous.
on?"
They're like, "Oh, like you, on the East Coast, you guys have Dunkin'." I'm like, honestly, I think Dunkin' is disgusting.
horrible.
I think
Really?
it's disgusting.
No,
I do.
I'm all about
my-
In-N-Out
I never
Burger.
eat Dunkin'.
Oh, I want to try In-N-Out
In-N-Out's
Burger
great.
so bad.
That's a West Coast
You've never
thing.
tried it?
No,
What?
what's out on the West Coast? I have
Have you been to
Oh, you-
Texas?
No.
Oh, because it's
Vegas
in Texas.
has it. It's
Vegas
everywhere.
Has it, yeah.
Yeah.
Where do you
Oh,
guys think
In-N-Out's
that-
fantastic.
West Coast. I mean, are you kidding? The first every time I fly into LAX, I'm like In-N-Out Burger.
And it's like
Here I go.
$5. It's like five.
Oh,
it's
it's
like
like-
$5-6 for
it's
everything.
so
It's
good.
it's so worth it.
I haven't
In-N-Out's
traveled as
great.
much as you guys. I'm
All right.
sorry.
Well, next time you fly to the West Coast, if you
have
ever do,
if you have Tasty Burger, that's about as close as you can get to.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
that here.
around us.
Tasty by
Yeah.
Fenway. Yeah.
Yeah.
it's like Tasty Burger mixed with Five Guys and Shake Shack, all
Yeah.
in one.
People- I mean,
Five
people
Guys
rate-
I'd say is better quality, but
Yeah.
if
Really?
for my money, I would rather have In-N-Out.
In-N-Out
Oh, yeah.
every year gets rated best burger.
I'd
It is.
agree. I'd agree.
Every-
Absolutely. And they have a secret menu. Ah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yes, yeah.
now I'm thinking about food and I'm getting hungry.
That's okay. So, we didn't talk about Tigressa. Was that her name? Tigressa?
Oh, yeah, the-
yeah.
She was the informant who they just string her up later.
Yeah,
I know.
that
Which
was
is a real
like-
shame.
Eh.
Like
I thought there was
Predator.
more to that story
I
because
guess-
they went
I
and talked to
know.
her, and then that was it.
It's
Like-
confusing to me. Tigressa, I was thinking like Vixen, then I'm thinking like Kawasa, and like,
Right,
not that
right.
they're all
And then
related.
I'm like, Lady Eve, hey.
right. But yeah, like,
Yeah, well, she had like a cameo. And then
I
she
honestly
got
thought
hung.
they kind of talked her up like, oh, this girl's got 100 kills. And I
Yeah,
was like,
yeah.
Oh,
I
shit.
thought
And
there was
then
like something going on.
Turns out
and-
she's just
Turns
there.
out she's not that great.
She was
Yeah.
born to die. So
Yeah.
yeah, too bad.
That was a weird scene anyway. It was one of those scenes that's not really necessary, I think.
Yeah, because nothing
But-
really came of it. It
I
was
mean, just like
yeah.
the location of.
Well, that's kind of Arrow's specialty, the
Yeah.
scenes that are just vapid
yeah,
and.
that's true.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm ripping into it.
Yeah,
Too
you
much.
are.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
It's totally-
It's
I-
all right.
I'm
I'm
it's
having
all right.
fun. I'm having fun. Actually,
I mean,
really
no matter
liked-
what, I still love Arrow.
I know. In a way, I love it too. I always hope, since it's going to be around, I feel like for next couple seasons, I always hope something's going to happen.
I hope they get a better villain. I hope
Yeah,
that
that-
Oliver Queen shaves a little.
I
Gets
hope he
the
gets the
goatee
goatee.
from the
I would
comics?
love the.
Well, yeah, because of the comics, but
Right.
Yeah,
You know,
let's,
he
just,
did
let's
an-
just do a little bit of it, just a little
just a
bit.
tease.
He did an interview and he
Get the
said he
little
would never do
hat.
that.
Yeah.
Well, who cares? Whatever's in charge should get him to do it.
They were like, "Yeah, Steven, you ever think you're gonna get the goatee like the comics?" He's like, "No, I'm not gonna do that." And I was like, "Oh, okay."
Well, that's because they want pretty boy. I mean, the one in the comic is not very pretty.
beautiful,
I knew Chris was gonna
Beautiful.
say.
beautiful, stunning.
And he's blonde.
I actually did like.
Yeah.
This is, I mean, not that I'm like a math guy at all, but I actually thought it was cool that it was the Fibonacci sequence to
Yeah,
open up the
that was
Hellraiser
cool.
box.
Yeah.
That's a cool thing. You know?
What was the
addition of the
birthday of,
two-
Malcolm Merlin was the opening.
Yeah,
yeah, I think
pretty
it started
cool.
at yeah,
10, 13.
yeah, but
Yeah.
that's kind of a cool
23.
thing.
Yeah, that was a cool aspect of it.
But yeah, and
yeah, I
then
think that-
Thea, Roy, and Nissa leave
Yeah.
to start a new show.
And there was a
I
good
don't think so.
line between Oliver and Thea where Oliver's like saying like you need to find the better part of you. And
Yeah.
what makes you complete. Like Oliver Queen and Green Arrow makes him
Yeah.
complete.
It's kind of good. I mean, like you feel bad for Roy a little too during the show because it's like he's just trying to get away and he keeps getting pulled back, and then at the end it's good they get to
yeah.
go off together. Did you like how Nissa annulled the marriage?
That was
I
cool.
did. I did.
She's like, it's about time I give you this.
She's like, here's the ceremonial dagger.
Yeah,
which
dagger. I was like,
I'm very,
jeez.
you know, of all the people to have annulments, League of Assassins, about the last people. I mean, I figured they'd just be like, yeah, our marriage is annulled when I just cut off your head or something.
Yeah, yeah.
Not give you a ceremonial dagger.
It's the
ceremonial.
dagger. Yeah.
Good
Do
forethought.
yeah. Do you think she'll be back?
Yes.
Yeah, they'll all. Well,
You know what?
they'll probably always bring her.
What
back.
is it?
Well, I mentioned this to you earlier with my stalking.
Yeah.
If you follow Katie Lotz, who plays Sarah Lance,
Katie Lotz. Yep.
she
Wait,
had,
wait. This is a spoiler, though.
this is a spoiler.
Is
Can
it?
I say the spoiler?
I don't know. I don't want to ruin it for anybody.
What is it?
No.
Is it
it's
something
not,
that
it's
they
not
posted
the
on?
biggest spoiler, but
It's not the biggest spoiler.
Well,
if
wait,
people
wait,
follow
wait.
her on Instagram, they already know.
Oh, if it's on Instagram, it's not really a spoiler.
yeah.
Should I
All
say
right.
it? It's
So
up
to
to
take
you.
a picture,
It's up
yeah.
to you, Chris.
I mean, I
Go
wanna
ahead and
hear
say it. Go
Are
ahead
you
and say it.
sure?
I mean, we've been talking about the spoiler for 20 seconds. Got to say something.
I just got excited when I saw it.
I'm
because
excited too. Yeah.
Go ahead.
She posted a picture saying like, "Guess who's going to be back on season finale of Arrow?" And it's her and her like the former crew. So she's going to be back in
so-
Arrow.
Wait,
Sarah.
who posted that?
Sarah Lance, the girl, Katie.
Katie
Lotz.
Lotz. Katie Lotz.
Because
Who
I was
plays
getting
Sarah.
confused with Nissa, but
No, no,
Nissa's
no.
also going to be on it too.
No, but because I feel like now that Sarah's
Oh,
coming
okay.
back, that maybe Nissa will come back for one
Okay.
episode again because.
That's not that much of a spoiler.
I mean,
it's
if you-
not like we don't know that Sarah's alive. Like,
Yeah, I
No.
know. I just
No, I know,
you
but
never
it's
know.
like I got really excited when she posted that, and she was like, "I'm going to be in the season finale of Arrow."
Yeah,
I was like,
I mean,
"Holla."
I mean, they'd be dumb not to bring back Nissa at some point. I mean,
No,
you got-
Yeah.
she's one of the best characters left on the show.
She's a huge
That's-
character
that's-
in terms
she's
of
not
the
even
show.
on the show. Yeah.
Yeah, that's still technically alive. Huh.
Yeah.
I
And
feel
would
like
love
everyone
to-
else they've killed off except the Huntress.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we never really knew what happened with her.
I
She
don't know,
just
who
left. But
She wised up.
And Cupid is probably in Arkham.
Oh, Cupid too.
Oh, yeah, that's
I would-
right.
I'd like to
She-
see Cupid. She was on Upswipes.
she was on Upswipes.
Upswipes, yeah.
She's on the market. She's on the market still.
Oh my
Her
god.
and Damien Dark should hook up.
But yeah, speaking of the season finale, we can touch I'm pretty sure every show is gonna have a different week that they end their show. 'Cause
Oh, yeah.
Black Lightning's
Oh, is that
ending.
right?
Yeah, I think. Well, because they said, I meant to mention this to you guys. The writers of all the shows said that they don't ever want to have a week where it's all 5 of the superhero shows on. So that's why you've been noticing, like this week we had what 3. and,
Three.
like, one-
Last week was
I've been
the
kinda
most-
looking-
the
I've been
most
kinda
will be-
looking forward to that.
The most will be like 4 in a week. They won't have
Yeah.
the 5. So I mean, Black Lightning is gonna end. What's probably end of April because it's 13 episodes.
13.
and
Yeah, and they're on
we just
8
did episode. I thought it was 10.
8 or 9. Oh,
thought
I don't
it
know.
Might have been. It might have been 10.
Maybe
I
yeah.
think
is
it might have
10.
been 10.
Yeah, so yeah, it's a couple
Maybe it
weeks
is.
of that, and then
Well, Arrow's on 17 next week,
17.
and
so
they're usually 23
they got a way to
episodes.
go. Yeah.
Yeah.
We might even
Arrow-
see Diaz next week.
yeah, I don't know
I
what's
don't.
going on with
I have
Arrow.
no idea.
But Arrow,
But Arrow,
Flash,
yeah.
Supergirl, they all have 23 episodes. So
And I think Supergirl was way ahead. I think that's why they kind of stopped.
well, they were at the last one they did was 13, so they have 10 episodes left. So when they come back, that's why I was gonna
it's
say
full force with,
yeah,
with
because
Supergirl.
Supergirl's gonna end in June, and then Flash and Arrow I
Mm.
think end in like the end of May.
May, yeah.
Wow.
So it's like all over.
And Black
the
Lightning
place.
will be over by then.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
no, I'm.
I know you
I'm
were hoping we
excited.
could do like a whole finale
I just
week.
think it's
It
kind
would
of
be
fun.
cool.
It's kind of fun to go through the week and be able
Yeah.
to watch them all.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
haven't really had that. But how long do we have to wait for Supergirl now? Is it 2 weeks?
April 19th, I think.
Oh,
Yeah.
All right, that's at least
Flash
3
is
weeks, yeah.
April 10th,
10th.
actually. Yeah. So,
yeah, so
Ah,
Supergirl's not
jeez.
till mid-April.
yeah.
which stinks because I don't even. We were discussing this. I barely remember how it left off.
Supergirl.
So,
I still have to watch
I'm
3
hoping that
episodes,
they
yeah.
do a really good recap when they come back.
I think it ended what Green Martian was holding up a pillar in the
I haven't
subway.
seen
I
it
think
yet.
he's still doing that. So
Oh,
he
is
can't-
he?
Holding up a pillar in the subway.
Right. He's like, I'm gonna
I
stay
need to
down
see
here.
the
so I
last-
can
While
use my
Monel
powers.
is like, doo doo doo.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
I need to see the last 3 episodes still.
Yeah,
gotta get on that.
Get on that because
Well, I
you've already
don't wanna-
spoiled it for you. So.
I don't want to like watch it and then forget it all. So that's
Well, it's
why
been
I've-
so long since you watched the show, though. You don't put too much
Well, I
time
watched
between
some
when you
last
watch
week.
it.
Oh, you
you
did?
You
Yeah,
did?
I watched
Oh,
them
okay.
last week, and
Oh,
then I keep
okay.
going. Back.
Alright.
I like Supergirl a lot, honestly. I really
Says
do.
the guy who
Supergirl's
was
fun.
like, oh, I don't want to watch Supergirl.
Yeah, I was. To be honest,
Please.
if I could go back in time,
Please.
I'd be like, Dan, you got to watch this because it's
Please.
actually really good.
Yeah.
And
You know, Sonic and I were watching Krypton, and we were talking about a little bit about
Yeah.
Krypton last
Oh,
week. We
yes,
gave a
that's
little
right.
bit of overview. I know you didn't see it, Dan, but I just wanted to
I
say.
was gonna watch it this weekend.
Are we
was-
done with Arrow first?
But yeah, I mean, basically,
I think-
the
Yeah,
episode
they
ends
mentioned-
with Ollie saying, "What good
Yeah.
luck, Speedy."
Yeah, good
That's
luck.
a nice
goodbye.
moment.
Right.
Yeah, and then I think she's going on Riverdale, right? That's her new thing.
Don't,
gonna be
don't
on
mock
Riverdale.
Riverdale. It's a
I'm
great
not.
show.
I don't joke about Riverdale.
Don't joke about Archie comics.
No, I would never. I would
No,
never.
no.
She's going on. She'll be.
She'll be.
Hopefully, she gets her own sitcom. Whatever.
Whatever.
Wish her all the best. I do. I like Willow Holland.
I do too.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Um,
yeah, we were talking about Krypton last week.
Yeah, and I was crapping all over it because I thought the pilot was, I would say,
Yeah, it wasn't that
a
great.
C at best.
Yeah.
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 Did
but
it get better?
It
It
did.
did.
It
Oh,
got
that's
much
good. Yeah,
better.
yeah.
It got much better, and
Yeah.
I think because that first pilot was whatever, it was cut up. They didn't
was-
like what they had and changed it. In my opinion,
Yeah.
it seemed that way.
So I don't know if you noticed this, but there was one scene that they did again from the pilot.
Which scene?
The scene where he cuts his hand to open
Oh,
with the
yeah,
Superman
yeah.
symbol. They
Uh-huh.
did that in the pilot, and they did it again
Yes.
in the next episode. And I was like,
Oh.
oh, there's a blooper right there.
Yeah, I
They
think
do that sometimes to kind of
It's
just
like
like
the blood of
re-
El.
No,
do
because
the
he
whole
was like
thing.
redoing the whole scene again. So I think
Uh-huh.
maybe like they just put it in for
Yeah,
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know.
But I
But it was
noticed that.
good,
But it was
yeah.
a good episode.
and we
Yeah.
kind of got.
I recorded it. I just didn't have time to watch it.
It's
this
worth
week.
it. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know how good the show is going to be. It looks like we'll see like 10 minutes of Brainiac the whole season. Who
Yeah.
knows?
There's,
it's slowly arriving.
I figured out I didn't
Well, he's already
mention-
here apparently.
Yeah, a piece of him is here. Which, if it's Brainiac, a piece of him is him. So I
Right.
don't know if that's probably what they're
Right.
getting at.
I
yeah.
don't know.
I didn't mention on last week's show, but this Krypton for the first season is 6 episodes. So I think it's like a 6 episode.
It's one of those like mini series
Oh,
kind
really?
of things.
Oh, okay. I'm
6
actually much more
episodes.
game for it then.
Yeah.
All right. I was
'Cause
thinking
they'll
it's
do
gonna
the
be spread
6
out.
and
All
then
right.
see
I like
See how
that.
it goes.
if
I
it
like that
goes
a lot.
good and then to renew it. Or
I
not.
like that.
I don't know.
Very much.
It's an interesting show. I'm
that's
not-
what I said.
Not
last
gonna
week.
watch it, but I don't know. It's it's up and down right now.
It,
so
It's doing a lot of the Fortress of Solitude type stuff
Which
with
I
his
love.
grandfather, which I
Yeah.
like as well. You
Yeah.
know, if you know, like there's no crystals involved per se, but
No,
basically
not
it's
yet,
just
yeah.
He's able to talk with his grandfather and all that. I
Right.
like that aspect.
yeah, that was a
Um,
great scene. I
and
like that
then
whole thing,
They had the Battle of the Death with
which was I can't.
what's his name? Neil before Zod.
Yeah, the Zod family.
The Zod family.
It's
That's
just
right.
it's so I just don't like the whole Zod family in
Yeah,
general.
the whole faction
yeah,
thing is a little
it's
dumb.
just stupid.
Well,
but
you were complaining because you think with everything Superman they always have to bring up Zod. And
well,
you
I mean,
think,
Zod is
something
like pretty
different.
much the villain.
Zod is the man, but
Zod
it's-
is-
Oh yeah, I
it's-
for
know.
this story.
Yeah, it's
Right.
Brainiac, it's Zod, it's
Right.
Lex Luthor. I
Right.
mean,
Yeah,
those are the
yeah.
things.
Right.
But I like the fact that they're not. I mean, it's the Zod family. They're not.
Right,
It's not an actual
right.
like Zod.
Right.
But I like the fact that they're doing Brainiac.
They still
'cause
bring up,
Brainiac is not as popular as like Lex Luthor is. so.
Brainiac's the man.
Brainiac's
one of the
a
best
good- Oh, yeah.
villains out
Oh,
there.
yeah.
Brainiac.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That's why I said if Brainiac's time traveling, you are screwed.
Oh,
I don't know how they're going to deal with
absolutely.
that, but there's no way to beat him.
Yeah.
Unless you're
they're
Lex
still doing
Luthor.
the guild stuff, going to like the science.
Yeah, a
and
bit. There's a
so-
bit of like
Yeah.
a fight to the death, so she can take control and like.
She's trying to-
You were right about the Divergent series. It's very similar.
Yeah.
Is it
is.
Divergent?
Divergent.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Allegiant,
yeah, yeah.
Divergent,
Yeah.
Detergent. It's very similar.
Detergent.
But I did like how they brought up the Phantom Zone.
Oh, they
I-
bring
Yeah.
up the Phantom
They
Zone.
He's
do.
able. He's
Yeah.
able to travel.
Yeah,
through
through-
I didn't know the Phantom Zone existed like that. That you
Mhm.
can use it
Wait,
as
is
like
that
a
Yeah.
conduit.
that Adam Strange guy?
Yes.
Is traveling.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
But they also, like,
yeah,
the
but it's
grandfather also
grandfather
brings it
describing
up.
how he
oh, okay.
he's
how he
able to
can-
travel through
Yeah.
it and all that. Yeah. Which
I
is
was
so
like,
cool.
oh,
I
I was so excited. I was like, Phantom Zone.
Yeah,
That's
Phantom
true,
Zone's
that's true.
Brings back
huge
everything.
With,
you know,
Superman, so.
that's why Dan texted us last week in the middle of this week about like, oh, which the original movies you should watch, and I was just
Yes.
thinking, like,
Oh yeah,
I might even go back this weekend and watch some of the originals because the first two, there's a recut of the second one, which is like the Richard Donner recut, which is good
Yeah.
to see what it is, but really just the first two as they are, that's really
I was
really fun.
I was asking because I
You can even watch
obviously-
Lois and Clark.
Lois and Clark.
Yeah, I mean you could, but you could also
No, but like if you wanted to go back.
Right,
Yeah,
no, I
that's
was
such a
asking-
development. Just if you want to just spend some time watching a
Right.
movie or two.
I was asking
Yeah.
because over the summer, if we do like a comparison of all the different Superman movies, that'd be cool to talk
Oh, yeah.
about. Yeah,
I don't think
That's why,
I mean, if you watched one of the first two Superman movies versus Man of Steel, I mean, it's not even close.
No, of course not.
No.
I
A
mean,
lot of people
it's
liked
two different
Man of Steel,
genres
though.
too. It's like
it's
you're going-
it's. It's like I can't even process it. It's so ridiculous. Like, it's like one has like a story and good writing and great acting and interesting characters
Right.
and like an epic feel, and the other one is just like a CGI mash 'em
Yeah,
up
yeah,
fest
that's
for 40
true.
minutes.
Right.
Yeah.
yeah.
So-
I'm sure we'll talk about it over the summer.
We'll
but
talk
yeah.
about it more.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But
that'd be
um,
really fun. I can't wait for that.
I know. We
I
have a
can't
lot. We
wait
have a lot
either.
to do this summer.
We're gonna do a lot. Yeah,
We
this
are.
is
I
kind
know.
of like us pitching it to the viewers. We're gonna be
Pitching
talking
it.
about a
We're
lot.
Gonna, we're gonna
Yeah.
be in comic book stores. We're gonna do a
Yeah.
lot of stuff.
That's
this-
true. We're going to
this
be trying to
summer.
promote
Yeah.
ourselves in different ways.
Yeah.
We might just be
Yeah.
outside. We might
It
actually.
would
go
be
outside
cool
the
to do
studio.
like an episode of like questions from viewers if they ever
Yeah.
ask questions.
Oh yeah, I'd love
like,
to answer some questions.
Yeah.
From
Hey
our- from
Dan,
our
how,
awesome
how are you
listeners.
so awesome, Dan, and all that.
Yeah.
Dan,
Dan got a
where-
haircut. He
where-
looks like
where's
Harrison
Dan's
Ford.
cake?
You say I look
That's-
like Harrison Ford? Wow.
Really?
Like Harrison Ford. Yeah.
Jeez. Sonic's like, really? No, he doesn't.
I'm like, wait, really?
I would trust the other sex on that one.
Okay. All right.
But
Woo.
anyway, that's about it. That wraps us up for our podcast.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you guys know what's on next week? I never pay attention
Oh,
to
jeez,
we're actually there.
Next week.
Next
Oh,
week is
Legends,
Legends
Black Lightning. I think it's the
definitely
same
Black
thing.
I think it's the
Lightning.
same.
I think it's the
Okay.
same.
It's the same.
Yeah.
Still no Supergirl or Flash.
Tell your friends about our podcast. We're gonna
Yeah,
try.
please
We're
spread the
promoting
word.
way more now.
We are. We're on everything social media wise.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You can find us easily. It's Vigilante-Verse. There's a dash in the middle of those two words.
Yes.
Vigilante-Verse. but,
SoundCloud, iLoons,
iTunes,
iTunes.
iTunes,
Instagram. If you follow us
Google
on
Play.
Instagram, I will be posting a lovely comic that I was talking about earlier
yes,
today.
Dr. Fate.
Yeah, Dr. Fate. So if you are a comic book fan like me, you will see that picture on our Instagram.
Yeah.
So
But yeah.
thank you again. We'll be back next Friday with episode 11.
I know. Keep
That's
watching.
right,
Keep watching all
11.
these TV shows.
Keep
'cause
watching, and
if-
I'm
if we have to
recommending so
watch
many.
it, you guys have to
That's
watch
right.
it too. At this
That's
point.
right.
Yeah, and give us your feedback if you can. Drop us a line on SoundCloud or Instagram. We will respond right away.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
sayonara, I guess.
All the best. See you next week.
Bye.